Chapter 802. Inside the blade-slicing valley. The two temple elders were really impatient. The enemy had not fallen into the trap for a long time. Could it be that they had already seen through the ambush? When the Heaven Realm warriors from the 8 desolate snowfield, Jean Gu and the other 2 teams had left, they had almost been intercepted. In order to prevent the enemy from luring them into the trap, the 2 of them decided to continue lying in ambush. No matter what, if the enemy wanted to break through, they would have to pass through the blade-slicing valley. Although waiting here was a stupid idea, if someone fell into the trap, it would be the best place to annihilate the enemy. Here, one man could hold the pass against 10,000 enemies. Relying on the geographical advantage, the 2 of them decided to hold their ground. No matter how long they waited, they would never reveal their secret. Only a patient hunter would be able to hunt their prey. Using the various mechanisms in the blade-slicing valley, combined with the traps and beasts' abilities, they would definitely be able to make the enemy pay a heavy price. In the entire Wind Valley, there was no better place for an ambush than here. They're here. They're finally here. The temple elder on the left noticed that there was movement outside the blade-slicing valley. Follow the original plan. When they reach the blade-slicing valley, activate the mechanism. Even if they have immortal bodies, they will still die a horrible death in the blade-slicing valley. This mechanism was probably created by the gods. No one can escape its power, and no one can destroy it. You have to pay attention to whether someone will break through quickly. We might have to wait for a while. Alright, let's not talk about it anymore. They're here. The temple elder on the right was overjoyed. He and his companions hid their presence even more deeply, but their awareness was expanded 100 times. They kept a close eye on Yu Yang and the others who had entered the blade-slicing valley. As if they did not know that there was an ambush in front of them, Yu Yang walked at the front of the group, Tu Hai beside him, and Lord Ling Yun at the back. In the middle were Gue Xian, Gue Zhen, and the others. Everyone kept a certain distance from each other. At this distance, they could look out for each other, and it would not affect each other's movements. In case they encountered any dangerous traps in the blade-slicing valley, they would also have more time to deal with them. One big wheel after another kept spinning. All kinds of sharp knives, earth spears, poisoned arrows, broken bones, iron nail boards, giant stone grinders, wolf tooth grinders, and all kinds of unimaginable mechanisms were triggered one after another as Yu Yang and the others walked past. Only the most agile and quickest people would be able to dodge all of them. Some of the flying arrows seemed to have no space to dodge at all. One had to wander among the arrows and find the best temporary space to hide oneself. Only by dodging in sequence could one avoid the arrows. As Yu Yang walked through this place, he couldn't help but praise the ingenuity of the designer. Only with this kind of mechanism could one obtain the best training result. In comparison, the mechanisms in Skysplit Tower's 5-element palace were nothing more than a drizzle. If not for the 2 Divine Hall elders lying in ambush, Yu Yang would have asked Hui Tai Lang to release Fatty Hai and the others so that they could gain some experience. Among the mechanisms, there were some sharp knives and earth spears that could pierce through the entire space. Once a person walked on top of them, they wouldn't be able to dodge them. One had to be able to see the pattern of their contraction and instantly pass through them to avoid being hit. As Yu Yang walked, he made a mental note of this. He planned to build a similar mechanism in Skysplit Tower for training in the future. After walking through dozens of huge mechanisms, they had not even reached 1/5 of the total. However, it was already enough to make King Ling Yun and the others dizzy. Fortunately, no one was injured or killed. Everyone had successfully made it through. Yu Yang stopped in front of a several 100-meter-long blade-slicing channel. This channel was incomparably huge, but it was filled with spinning sawtooth blades that rolled like waves. Thousands of sawtooth blades rotated continuously. If anyone was hit by one of them, they would definitely be minced into meat paste. This channel was the largest and most difficult to pass through in the blade-slicing valley. It was impossible for anyone to pass through it. Anyone who wanted to pass through it had to first pass through one sawtooth blade, wait for the second sawtooth blade to rotate, and then wait for an opportunity to pass through the third sawtooth blade. There were thousands of such sawtooth blades. Once one entered, one could only move forward. There was no possibility of retreat. After passing through this sawtooth blade, there were still other mechanisms. Although they were more complicated, they were slightly easier to pass through. There was no real danger of death. Therefore, the most difficult part of the entire blade slicing valley was the blade slicing channel. Damn it! King Ling Yun knew that there were 2 temple elders lying in ambush behind the blade slicing channel. He was already on his guard. He had also heard from Yu Yang that there were various techniques and important points to pay attention to. However, he still had no confidence that he could safely pass through this blade slicing channel. There were thousands of spinning sawtooth blades. There were simply too many of them. A single mistake and he would die. The worst thing was that the 2 temple elders were watching him from the shadows, ready to launch a sneak attack at any time. If not for the Yu clan's 3rd young master, he would never have passed through this so-called blade slicing channel. This place was a deadly place. However, he also knew this. If he couldn't even pass through this blade slicing channel, then there was no point in following the Yu clan's 3rd young master. He might as well go back and buy a piece of tofu to kill himself. He and Tu Hai were the first to set off. After passing more than 100 sawtooth blades, Gue Xin and Gue Zhen followed closely behind. After passing more than 500 sawtooth blades, Chong Si and Iron Wrist also began to enter the blade slicing channel. The 2 temple elders were waiting for Chong Si and Iron Wrist to enter. From what they could sense, Yu Yang was just a quasi-heaven ranker. They didn't need to bother with him at all. As long as they could trap King Ling Yun and the others in the blade cut passage, they would have a 90% chance of success. Without hesitation, they activated the traps and temporarily closed off the blade slicing channel that Yu Yang was about to enter. The spinning speed of the sawtooth blades in the channel immediately increased by 10 times. Moreover, there were also many metal-type battle beasts that pounced out from their hiding places in the channel, attacking the flustered King Ling Yun and the others. 10 minutes later, King Ling Yun and Tu Hai were hit by the traps one after another. Although they managed to avoid the most fatal sawtooth blades, they were still covered in cuts and bruises. Most importantly, they were both hit by the metal-type battle beasts. These battle beasts were the descendants of the battle beasts left behind by the ancient predecessors. Each of them had a certain kind of ability. Once they hit their target, they would be able to stop the intruder from moving forward. Countless metal-type battle beasts formed cumbersome chains or handcuffs on their bodies, trapping Ling Yun and Tu Hai in the blade slicing channel. Several times, they were in danger and were almost ground into meat paste by the sawtooth blades. The 2 hall elders laughed aloud. Their plan had gone so smoothly that it had surprised them. However, they did not find it strange that they had achieved such a success, even though they had not planned for it. The depression and unhappiness brought about by the ambush for the past few days were swept away at this moment. In order to quickly end the deaths of King Ling Yun and Tu Hai, in order to quickly obtain the final victory, and in order to obtain more merit, they decided to personally enter the blade slicing channel and give the heavily injured Ling Yun and Tu Hai a fatal blow. Although Ling Yun and the others were heaven rankers level 5, they had enough confidence. In this blade slicing channel, not only did the 2 temple elders' strength not weaken. Instead, it increased several times. Under such circumstances, how could they not be confident? Beautiful Crimson Crane, it's your turn again. The temple elder on the left summoned a crimson crane. The crimson crane was as beautiful as the sun. When it spread its wings, it seemed as if it could burn the entire world. Its strength had reached the astonishing heaven ranker level 5. It was not weaker than its master, and even surpassed it in some aspects. Your crimson crane is so beautiful no matter how I look at it. the temple elder on the right exclaimed as he summoned a creature the size of a mountain. It belonged to the category of supergiant battle beast. Star-shaped. It was bigger than a mountain, but its appearance was not clumsy at all. On the contrary, it looked very light. What was most surprising was that this mountain-like star-shaped beast with the strength of Heaven Stage Level 4 could fuse with metal. It was like water merging into the soil, naturally merging into the blade's slicing channel. It moved freely inside, forming a small mountain-like barrier area. Moreover, it constantly shrank the space, intending to cooperate with the sawtooth blades to force the 6 people trapped inside to death. The temple elder on the left opened the last section of the blade's slicing channel. Before entering, he laughed. My crimson crane was dyed with countless amounts of blood. Of course it's beautiful. With the blood of these 6 leaders, my crimson crane will definitely be even more beautiful. Old man, let's stick to the original plan. You'll be in charge of sealing the channel, and I'll give them a fatal blow. Haha, these fellows' cautiousness happens to be their fatal weakness. If they don't split up and advance and retreat together, then it won't be easy for us to attack them. Now there are only 2 people in front, and all of them are heavily injured. My beautiful crimson crane can no longer wait. There seems to be a gust of wind. The temple elder on the right felt a gust of wind blowing from inside. They are still trapped very far away. It's impossible for them to come out. It's just a convection caused by the difference in temperature. The temple elder on the left sensed carefully and found nothing unusual. That's right, but we still have to be careful. It's better to be careful. The temple elder on the right nodded, admitting that he was overreacting. They did not see that not far away from them, the invisible Yu Yang was standing above the trap, looking down at the 2 of them. In the end, Yu Yang did not make a move to rescue Lord Lingyun and the others. He just put away the quintet seeking golden mice and left silently. If Lord Lingyun couldn't even pass this test, then they didn't need to stay in the heavenly realm anymore. Otherwise, no matter where they went, they wouldn't be able to keep their lives. This was the most basic test that they had to pass. What Yu Yang wanted wasn't trash, but rather followers who were courageous, intelligent, and had genuine skills. Lord Lingyun and the others also knew this, and they felt that they had to show their best performance. This performance would directly determine the 3rd young master's impression of them, whether they were valuable or not. It would be reflected in this battle. The crimson crane spread its gorgeous wings, and under its skill, thousands of flames turned into thousands of sharp blades. The moment the sawtooth blades staggered, they shot towards Lord Lingyun and City Lord Tu Hai. Oh my God, it's the crimson crane! Lord Lingyun now knew who the person who ambushed him was. It was the very famous Elder Crimson Crane of the Central Shrine. Weaklings, let out a painful cry, that will be your last voice in the heavenly realm. Elder Crimson Crane's hands shook, and endless flames erupted like a volcanic eruption, and then all of them were transformed into sharp blades by the summoned Crimson Crane, flying towards Lord Lingyun and City Lord Tu Hai. Elder Crimson Crane had an invasion talent. Any enemy, as long as they were hit by the Crimson Crane, the flames would invade the enemy's body through the blood vessels of the wound, and then all the enemy's blood would be transformed into sharp blades, cutting the internal organs, piercing the skin, and shooting out. Their death would be extremely terrifying. What is this? City Lord Tu Hai found that his hands were wet. Upon closer inspection, he was shocked to find that it was not water, nor was it blood, but liquid metal. The liquid metal seemed to have a life of its own, spreading all over his body, and in the blink of an eye, countless long metal spikes grew out, supporting Tu Hai's whole body in the middle of the blade-cut channel. If it was somewhere else, this might not be a problem, but here was the blade-cut channel. Seeing the countless spinning sawtooth blades sweeping towards him like a wave, and he could not struggle at all, Tu Hai suddenly broke out in a sweat. Lord Lingyun couldn't help but take a look and also exclaimed, "It's Elder Chi Feng's multi-legged golden starfish. Throw away all the metal on you. It can fuse with metal. Run. Another elder Chi Feng laughed. It's too late, in this blade-cut valley. The Crimson Crane and I are invincible, you can all rest in peace. Lord Ling Yun dodged thousands of sharp blades, and was about to wipe the cold sweat off his forehead. Suddenly, he felt a feather blade smaller than a needle under his feet, gently ding towards his heel. In shock, Lord Ling Yun lifted his foot and jumped up, but he did not realize that there was a sharp blade above his head, folding like a paper crane and drilling down from the top. Lord Ling Yun stretched out his hand to block it, but his palm was scratched and bleeding. The sharp blade that was about to fall immediately turned into flames, drilling unstoppably into the wound on Ling Yun's palm, and then turning into several sharp blades, piercing through the back of his palm. Ah! Lord Ling Yun screamed in pain. He watched helplessly as the blood on his palm all turned into sharp blades, piercing through his blood vessels. Die, you are doomed to die. Elder Chi Feng knew that once the enemy was injured, the battle would be over. Elder Chi Feng, you are wrong, this is just the beginning. Lord Ling Yun's arm suddenly turned into a cloud of mist, and the sharp blades that had drilled into his body fell to the ground. Without blood, they could not continue to invade. On the other side, City Lord Tu Hai also turned into a waterman, splashing out of his armor and quickly escaping from the sawtooth blades. Although he was in a sorry state, he was able to free the enemy from the shackles of the multi-legged golden starfish. Is it the innate ability of mist and illusory water? Elder Chi Feng suddenly understood why these two guys dared to come in first to explore the way. It turned out that they had a life-saving trick. However, even if they had the ability of mist and illusory water, how many times could they use them? Innate abilities were not omnipotent. Especially in this blade-cut channel, even if they could use mist and illusory water, once they were cut apart, even if they did not die on the spot, their bodies would still be separated after they recovered. Most importantly, whether it was mist or illusory water, they were at an absolute disadvantage against Chi Feng, who could transform flames, blood, and sharp blades. Even without the innate ability of invasion, they would not be able to take advantage of him. Due to the abnormal state of Ling Yun and Tu Hai, the two temple elders who were caught in the battle had long forgotten about Yu Yang, a quasi-heaven stage expert. Although Yu Yang and Grey Wolf had disappeared from the blade-cut valley at some point, they still did not notice. Who would pay attention to a quasi-heaven stage expert? If they did, they would pay attention to Gui Xian, Gui Zhen, Chang Si, and Iron Wrist, the four strong reinforcements who were still trapped in the previous blade-cut channel space. Before they arrive, I have enough time to take care of you. Elder Chi Feng sneered. He decided to use his trump card, a trick that was enough to make the enemy completely desperate. Chapter 803 Wind Valley. When Yu Yang reached the end of Wind Valley, still wind building, he saw Feng Bo, who was the same as Yu Bo. Unlike Yu Bo, Feng Bo was hanging upside down, head down and feet up. At the same time, he was constantly being tortured by the power of punishment. What surprised Yu Yang was that according to Feng Bo, both Captain Cook and Ji Worry had used their abilities to pass through before. They did not need to go through him and directly entered the third stage, Sand Valley. Brat, you have to be careful. Ji Worry is definitely not easy to deal with. Of course, he probably won't care about you. You're no threat to him at all. He's mainly dealing with that idiot Cook. Unlike Uncle Yu, who loved wine as much as his life, Uncle Feng was dismissive of wine. He only loved food. Yu Yang gave him all kinds of delicious food and used the same strategy as Yu Bo to bribe him. Towards this kind of old man, as a junior, there was no harm in being a little more respectful. In order to increase the effect of flattery, Yu Yang even let Fatty Hai and the others come out and pay their respects to this senior expert one by one. When it came to bootlicking, Fatty Hai's current abilities were fully displayed. He was definitely a first-class expert. You are highly respected, talented, famous in the world, everyone knows about you. Fatty High's flattering words could be said for 2 hours without repeating them. Good, good. It had been a long time since Feng Bo had heard such a comfortable compliment. In his joy, he revealed a shocking secret to Yu Yang. Seeing that you juniors are quite sensible, I'll tell you a secret. If it was Yu Nong, that trash, he would definitely not tell you such a useful thing. You are this old man. Fatty High quickly gave Feng Bo a thumbs up. Yu Bo is naturally not as good as you. When Yu Yang heard this, he knew that these two old fellows were actually sworn enemies. Previously, Yu Bo did not have any good words with Feng Bo. He isn't even fit to carry my shoes. If it wasn't for Solomon's soft-hearted fear that he would commit suicide if he married me, we would have gotten married long ago. Yu Nong, that bastard, not only messed up my marriage with Saruman, he also provoked countless enemies. If it wasn't for that idiot, would we be locked up here? It's bad enough that he had ruined my relationship with Wind Valley. He had even ruined my salamander. Now that I think about it, I really want to kill him. My Solomon, I haven't heard from her for a long time, let alone see her. You must send my regards to her. The Solomon that Count of Wind mentioned was the guardian of the third stage, Sand Valley, Granny Shah. Definitely, definitely. Yu Yang snickered in his heart. What he heard from Uncle Yu was a completely different story. However, he was not interested in the grudges between the three seniors that had existed for tens of thousands of years. If he made good use of this point, he could better control these old fellows after the seal was lifted. At the very least, he could let them stay in Tong Tian Tower peacefully and become a strong helper for the rise of Tong Tian Tower. Feng Bo was even more talkative than Yu Bo. He was afraid that Yu Yang and the others would be prejudiced, so he listened to Yu Bo's words and repeated the story of his love with Granny Shah. Xue Tan Lang almost fell asleep listening to it. Prince Tian Luo maintained a polite smile on his face, although it went in one ear and out the other. The Li brothers resisted the urge to yawn, took out their weapons and kept wiping them, over and over again. Only Yi Kong and Fatty High became more and more excited as they listened, especially Fatty High. From time to time, he would applaud and cheer for Feng Bo's touching love story, or he would wring his hands and sigh. As the two of them listened, Feng Bo felt as if he was a close friend and poured out his grievances. Finally, after 3 hours of narration, Yu Yang, who was leaning on Hui Tai Lang, woke up 3 times. He finally told them the secret that only he and Granny Shah knew. You must have never heard of it. Before the Heaven Realm, there was a super strong person who once swept the entire Heaven Realm. No, it's not Fei Wenli. Although Fei Wenli is a little belligerent, her evil is far worse than the previous super strong person. Wu Xiang Emperor. No, it's not Wu Xiang Emperor. What kind of evil is Wu Xiang Emperor? I have killed as many people as him. At most, Wu Xiang Emperor is a little stronger than me. Yes, only a little stronger, mainly because he has a divine weapon in his hand, and I don't. Yu Yang quickly corrected Feng Bo. Let's go back to that super strong person. What's his name? This especially evil guy is called Kai Tian, known as the Lord of Wan Mo. About 60 or 70,000 years ago, he killed many people. The entire Heaven Realm was in chaos because of him, and the people had no way to live. Of course, if you do too many bad things, you will definitely not have a good ending. This awesome guy is no exception. One day, he was silently sealed. Feng Bo introduced. Could it be that he is sealed in this Wind Valley? Yu Yang asked. No, how can a place like this seal the Kai Tian demon venerable? That's impossible. In the 6th stage, after passing through the Desire Valley, Beast Valley and Demon Valley, before leaving the Demon Valley, if you use the Demon Order, you can open a hidden demonic palace. Inside is the sealed place of the Kai Tian demon venerable. If you can defeat him, I believe you will definitely be able to obtain the reward of the strong person who sealed him. Feng Bo pointed out a clear path for Yu Yang. You have the demonic token? Yu Yang asked again. How is that possible? The demonic token is placed in the Earth Demon Palace. That is the key to open the demonic palace. How can it be given to anyone? That little girl Fei Wenli wanted to take it back then, but because of various considerations, she was afraid that her competitors would beat her to it, so she didn't kill the Earth Demon Palace's Demon Venerable. She didn't challenge the Heaven Demon Venerable in the 6th stage and directly went to the back. Unfortunately, even she wasn't able to pass all the stages. Feng Bo talked about the past and felt a little regretful. If Queen Vivian Li had challenged him, she might have succeeded. Where is the Earth Demon Palace? Who is that Demon Venerable? Yu Yang was confused by this fellow. Wouldn't it be better to just say it out loud? In the 3rd stage, Sand Valley, there is an extremely secret place. There is an Earth Demon Palace, and the Demon Venerable is sealed inside. The Demon Venerable was the accomplice of the Heaven Demon Venerable. Back then, he was the leader of all the evil demons and was second only to the Heaven Demon Venerable. For example, if the Heaven Demon Venerable was an emperor, then the Demon Venerable would be a marshal. As punishment, the Demon Venerable was also sealed in the Earth Demon Palace and suffered all kinds of torture. Although he stayed in the 3rd stage, his suffering can't be compared to ours. What we have suffered is considered a small punishment, but what they have suffered is the real punishment. Every day they have to bathe in lava or molten iron, and then be struck by 100 bolts of lightning every day. That is the most basic punishment. Furthermore, that is the power of the law. It is impossible to resist it with strength. When Feng Bo mentioned the punishment of the law, he was actually a little afraid. He was unwilling to say more, as if he would suffer if he said more. How do we enter the 3rd stage, the Earth Demon Palace? Yu Yang thought to himself, can't you just say that you want to enter the Earth Demon Palace to get the demonic token? After making a big turn, you almost turned into a ravine. There's nothing you can't do. You must be the clearest. Yi Kong flattered Feng Bo against his will. Nonsense. Fatty Hai rebuked angrily. How could Senior Feng Bo know this secret in this world? Senior Feng Bo and Granny Sha are lovers, they are the same person. Granny Sha must know this secret the best. Yes, you are right. If Saruman didn't know, would she be guarding the Sand Valley? Originally, if you want to go to the Earth Demon Palace, you have to pass her test. However, she is too kind-hearted, so she definitely won't allow you to go to the Earth Demon Palace. I can show you the way, but I can't guarantee that you can win against the Earth Demon Venerable. Because with your strength, it's not that this old man is looking down on you, but it's really hopeless. You can write it down first. When you have enough strength in the future, you can challenge it. If you really can't resist your curiosity, you can go in and take a look. As long as you take a look from afar, I don't think there will be any danger. Under Fatty Hai and Yi Kong's flattery, Feng Bo finally couldn't help but draw a simple map of the Earth Demon Palace for Yu Yang. We're just going in to take a look. Don't worry, we won't act rashly. Yes, if Granny Sha asks about this, we won't say anything. We definitely won't say anything. After Yu Yang, Shui Tan Lang and the others memorized the map, they immediately destroyed it. You've memorized such a complicated map so quickly? Not bad, you can't compare to this old man, but your memory is passable. Feng Bo was a little surprised. Yes, how can us juniors compare to you? Fatty Hai nodded and bowed. Memorizing the map was a piece of cake. It was much easier than memorizing the unpredictable and endless Heaven Rune Circle. Fatty Hai and the others definitely didn't have this kind of memory in the past, but after following Yu Yang for so long, their abnormal memory had been trained. Memorizing a map was not worth mentioning. After leaving the 2nd stage, Wind Valley, Yu Yang brought everyone to the 3rd stage, Sand Valley. This was a strange world filled with yellow sand. All the sand was a quicksand whirlpool that devoured life. Anyone who fell into it could only be buried inside. If they didn't have special abilities, they would definitely not be able to escape. In the sky there was also a strong wind that swept up the sand. When it hit a person's body, the power was even stronger than a sharp arrow. If it was an innate rancor, just a grain of sand would be enough to kill them, not to mention a sky full of sand. Yi Kong asked Yu Yang cautiously, "Are we really going to the Earth Demon Palace?" Prince of Tianluo also agreed with Yi Kong's concerns. Uncle Yu definitely knows about this Earth Demon Palace, but he didn't say anything. This proves that this Earth Demon Palace is not something that we can challenge with our strength. Back then, Queen Vivian Li and Prison Emperor didn't challenge it. This also shows how difficult it is. Fatty Hai quickly denied. Her Majesty and Prison Emperor are afraid that their competitors will rush to pass. We don't have a time limit, it should be possible. Li brothers only listened to Yu Yang. No matter what decision he made, they wouldn't object. Hence, they didn't express their opinion. Yu Yang thought for a while and looked at everyone. I understand this Earth Demon Palace is definitely not easy. However, this is the most important time for us to increase our strength. If we don't improve quickly, I'm afraid that Ji Wuri will sink us into the dark world together with Tong Tian Tower. Our time is even more limited than Queen Vivian Li's time. Hence, I have to give it a try. Another reason is that if we advance too quickly, we will definitely attract the attention of Ji Wuri and the others. Once they notice us, Ji Wuri will definitely leave a rancor in front of us to ambush us. At that time, even if we can pass through safely, our strength will be exposed. If Ji Wuri realizes that there is a new generation in Tong Tian Tower, he will definitely abandon Captain Cook and chase us with all his might. With our current strength, we really can't fight against that fellow. After everyone heard this, they all became silent. In the end, Yu Yang gave another reason. Jiu Shao and Void are the three great leaders of Western Heaven Realm. They are probably recovering their strength. If we don't hurry before they recover, I'm afraid that a new disaster will befall Tong Tian Tower. They also don't want us to rise. In order to increase our strength faster, we need more and stronger challenges. The Earth Demon Palace is another new beginning. Shui Tanlang nodded solemnly. I understand. Even if we die, we will challenge to the end. Fatty Hai Yi Kong, Prince of Tianluo and Li brothers all stretched out their hands towards Yu Yang, and us. Chapter 804. Sand Valley. According to the route recorded on the map, Yu Yang brought Hui Tai Lang, Fatty Hai and the others to the entrance of the Earth Demon Temple. Seeing the entrance, Yu Yang couldn't help but curse that old fellow Feng Bo for being a muddle-headed worm. He was so old that his head was rusty. The reason was that following the route on the map was correct, but there were many unnecessary routes that would be wasted. The map given by Feng Bo was just like his way of speaking, taking a big detour. Until the end, Yu Yang realized that if they took the best route, they could reduce the time by at least 2/3. Moreover, there wouldn't be so many sea thorn worms, sand spiders and other monsters ambushing them halfway. Forget it, we've finally reached our destination. It's better than a wrong map. Shui Wuxia, who was cultivating in Yu Yang's grimoire world, also came out. When she came out, not only Shui Tanlang, even Fatty Hai and Yi Kong became obedient. Other than Ji Zun, Shui Wuxia was the most dignified among the girls. Even though she rarely spoke, she rarely interfered. This was related to each person's personality and temperament. It had little to do with strength. For example, no matter how strong the gentle Yu Yu was, she couldn't be as strict as Shui Wuxia. This Earth Demon Temple seems a little strange. After the last battle, Princess Sisai's 6 records inherent skill had become sharper. Of course, her 6 records inherent skill could only be used at its strongest in battle. 6 records, 4 images as one that was the strongest Princess Sisai. Yu Yang frowned slightly. Outside the entrance of the Earth Demon Temple was a huge quicksand whirlpool. In the middle was a dark and bottomless abyss. A terrifying dark power surged like an undercurrent at the bottom of the sea. Everyone could clearly feel it, but on the surface, It was incomparably calm and smooth like a mirror. There was no life within a radius of tens of kilometers. In the sand valley, there were terrifying man-eating monsters such as sea thorn worms and sand spiders. They hid in groups under the sand. Once a creature passed by, they would immediately pounce and drag the prey into the endless quicksand. However, there was not a single creature within dozens of kilometers of this quicksand whirlpool. It was as if something destructive existed. They had no choice but to stay far away. Shui Wuxia elegantly closed the Book of Truth and shook her head slightly. She asked Yu Yang, "The Book of Truth doesn't show much, only darkness. What about you? What did you see?" She knew that Yu Yang's eyes could see through the truth more accurately than her Book of Truth. Yu Yang also shook his head. "I can only see that the power of the seal has weakened. I can't see anything else." Princess Sisai was slightly shocked. "If that's the case, then our trip will be even more dangerous. If the power of the seal weakened, what does that mean? The enemy might have already broken free from the seal. If we had to face a demon lord who had run amok in the heaven realm since tens of thousands of years ago, it would be very difficult for us to face him head-on. Although it hasn't reached the worst situation yet, I have a hunch that the Sky Demon Order will definitely not be easy to obtain. We have to enter the Dragon's Pool and Tiger's Den." Yu Yang kicked the hesitant Hui Tai Lang down first, then pulled the two girls and jumped down. "This young master's glorious path to fame in the heaven realm will begin with this battle." Fatty Hai tried his best to encourage himself. So long-winded. Yi Kong was behind him. Yi Kong, who was behind him, kicked the fatty who was so scared that his legs were trembling. When everyone jumped into the abyss that was so dark that they couldn't even see their own fingers, they realized that there was actually another world inside. The power of the seal formed the entire space. There was no light at all. The sky and the earth were the same color. There were no clouds or water. No matter if it was the sky or the earth, it was endless black stones or black lava. The temperature of the black lava was higher than magma. Even the black stones seemed to be burnt, and the heat was oppressive. Hui Tai Lang stretched out his tongue and panted. Fatty Hai, who was extremely afraid of heat, looked the same. Yu Yang, Shui Wuxiao and Princess Sisai floated in the air, carefully searching their surroundings with their consciousness. He was shocked to find that there were actually plants here. It was a kind of black demonic plant. It had no leaves at all, only twisted and ugly tree roots and tree trunk. There were also bumpy tree pomegranates that looked like human faces and head. When Yu Yang approached, those ugly tree ants would even wave their claw-like branches, as if they wanted to capture him. The human faces on the trees would even have a bloodthirsty expression. When Yu Yang was discovered by those tree ants, a kind of ghost-like demonic shadow had appeared from the cracks of the rocks in the surrounding space. Every single one of them was extremely ugly. They were neither living beings nor evil spirits, but a kind of delusion monster that was born from evil thoughts. If it could be said that a super-strong divine sense could leave a positive energy shadow on the heaven stairway, then the delusion monsters here could also do the same. It was just that they were completely filled with negative energy. The evil trance and delusion monsters were probably produced by the demon lord's evil consciousness and negative energy. There were already so many monsters before they even entered the Earth Demon Shrine. Shui Wuxia frowned slightly. It seemed that the demon lord was not just an ordinary kind of scary. She had seen many divine sense shadows left behind by her seniors on the heaven stairway, but the delusion monsters and evil trance here were not any weaker than the energy shadows below 1,000 levels. This was even under the situation where the demon lord was sealed and even punished by the ancient code. What would happen if the demon lord regained his freedom? The negative energy would be at least 100 times stronger than it was now, right? You guys stay here and try your best to eliminate these trance and evil shadows. We will find the real entrance to the Earth Demon Shrine and come back to pick you up. Yu Yang felt that with Hui Tai Lang and Fatty Hai's strength, there should be no problem staying here. He brought Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai past the delusion monsters that were gradually surrounding them and flew towards the source of the evil energy. Be careful, everyone, don't fall under the rocks. These monsters are not afraid of heat, they might ambush us from below. Prince of Tianluo realized that he was the weakest here. His ability and his flaming winged sky demon could not restrain the enemy, they might even be able to strengthen the enemy. Fortunately, Xue Tanlang was here. His frost was the nemesis of the monsters here, its power was beyond the limit, and could slightly make up for the loss of his combat power. Xue Tanlang coolly did not say a word. He summoned his thunder wind beast and turned the surrounding space into a world of frost. Awesome! Yi Kong and the others felt their bodies become refreshed, but the monsters felt extremely uncomfortable and avoided them in disgust. Rumble! Fatty High's wind breath seabird was the first to attack. It shot out a thunderbolt and struck the nearest evil treant, breaking its body and branches. The faces on the treant also showed a painful and twisted expression. However, there was no sound, there were no sorrowful cries like everyone expected. The evil treant that was struck by the thunderbolt did not die, it recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. The fallen tree trunk slowly recovered. Even the branches that fell on the ground absorbed the heat and grew new branches, showing no signs of dying. Once the wind breath seabird saw that its attack was ineffective, it suddenly spat out another wind blade with frost on it, hitting the half-dead treant. The treant was immediately sealed in ice. The expression of the human face on it first froze in the ice. After a while, it recovered and revealed an extremely ugly expression of fear. A strange hot vomit was spat out from its mouth, flying all over the sky, trying to melt the ice. Luckily, the frost is effective. Yi Kong secretly wiped his cold sweat. My good baby, when did you comprehend the frost ability? Fatty High hugged the wind breath seabird and kissed it again and again. On the contrary, the wind breath seabird rolled its eyes. Who's the master here? The Li brothers were confused by this question. Who would believe that a beast was smarter than its master? Changed to an ice-type weapon. Prince of Tianluo's words were equivalent to announcing the start of the battle. On the other side, Yu Yang found a black cliff after flying for about 50 kilometers. There was a depression halfway up the cliff. Yu Yang and the two girls flew in and found out that it was a wide cave. The Earth Demon Divine Palace was built inside the cave. According to the various stalactites and obelisks in the cave, the sealer created an extremely mysterious sealing circle. This sealing circle was not to seal the Earth Demon Elder, but to seal the entire Earth Demon Divine Palace, not allowing anyone to destroy it easily. Any power that attacked the Earth Demon Divine Palace would be reflected back to the attacker under the effect of this sealing circle. If he was not impatient and wanted to go in to take a look, Yu Yang would first study this huge sealing circle to see how it was constructed. The Earth Demon Divine Palace that was 100 meters tall was only a small castle in Yu Yang's eyes. It was similar to a castle. But the only difference was that this castle wasn't built from any stone, but from frost. There was a supreme sealing power, an irreversible power of law that kept the temperature of the frost at absolute zero, eternally unchanging. When Yu Yang tried to put his feet on the castle's first ice-ranked floor, he discovered that his entire leg had been frozen by the frost. Scary. Yu Yang's expression changed. The scariest thing was not the power of the ice seal, but the perfect control of the ancient code. The power of the ice seal stopped after it reached Yu Yang's legs. This kind of perfect control of the ancient code, even after its master left, really made Yu Yang exclaim in surprise. It also opened a door in his world of perception, allowing him to gain more knowledge and experience in the area of ancient code. He stretched out his hand and gently lifted Princess Sisai and Shui Wuxia up, letting them sit on his shoulders. Relying on his body, the three of them walked into the Earth Demon Divine Palace. This was the only loophole that Yu Yang could take advantage of here. If he did not have the heaven eyes divine vision and the knowledge that Sister Xin Yang had left for him, he would not be able to do this. In this earth demon divine palace, everyone had to walk in with their feet, which also meant that everyone had to freeze their legs in order to enter the castle. Yu Yang lifted Princess Sisai and Shui Wuxia and walked in as one. He did not violate the rule of walking in with their feet. He only took advantage of the small loophole of 3 people as one, because the predecessor who made the rule did not expect that there would be someone in the younger generation who could do this. Welcome, it has been many years since a guest came to my castle. I did not expect that there would be 4 distinguished guests today. It is really glorious. A voice that was as elegant as that of a noble scholar came from the depths of the castle. Yu Yang's complexion changed slightly. There were only 3 people on his side. Who was the 4th person? I did not expect that even this cautious little boy and that semi-god equipment book could not see through my invisibility, but Master could see through it with a glance. You are really worthy of being the Earth Demon Lord who ran amok in the Heaven Realm. A voice faintly sounded less than 10 meters behind Yu Yang. In the darkness, a shadow flashed, and a handsome man with a head full of snake-like hair appeared. He looked at Yu Yang, who was standing on the ice stairs, and revealed a devilish smile. In this seemingly friendly smile, Yu Yang could clearly see that he had 4 vampire-like fangs, and a serpent-like forked tongue. Chapter 805 Earth Demon Temple, on the Ice Stairs. Yu Yang stared at the snake-haired demon man for a long time. However, he, Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai didn't show any hostility. He didn't summon his grimoire. This snake-haired demon man didn't have the bad feeling of killing, only an extremely strange and mysterious feeling. May I know who you are? Princess Sisai sat on Yu Yang's shoulder, but she greeted him as a junior. Don't worry, I don't have any bad intentions, and I'm not a pawn of the central shrine. The snake-haired demon man was like a courteous gentleman. He raised his hand slightly to return the greeting. I'm just a little curious because I can feel the aura of an old friend on you and that boy. More accurately, it's 2 old friends, Prison Emperor and Fei Wenli. Do you know Prison Emperor and Queen Vivian Li? Shui Wuxia asked. Of course, I've fought with Prison Emperor before. However, although he had obtained divine power and a divine weapon, which is the Prison Emperor divine sword on you, he hadn't comprehended his divine spark yet. I wasn't too willing to fight with him. After all, other than me, he has many enemies who are eyeing him covetously. The snake-haired demon man revealed a smile, his dark green eyes revealing a kind of deep recollection. I have also fought with Fei Wenli once. Fei Wenli, the Conqueror Queen, is very fierce. I have to admit that I was not her match at that time. The snake hair you see is from her curse. Queen Vivian Li knows how to curse? Yu Yang was curious. Not only does she know, she's proficient in it. The snake-haired demon man shook his head with a bitter smile. If I didn't have the Mirror of Pain and the Oi Dispatch, inherent skill that can reduce damage through various means, I'm afraid I would still be a rock. It's not as simple as having a head of snake hair to be free. You should be the Conqueror Queen's disciples. Don't worry, although I fought with the Conqueror Queen, I won't do anything to you. On the contrary, when I see you descendants of Skysplit Tower, I, who have half of the bloodline of Skysplit Tower, am very happy. Who said that we are the descendants of Tong Tian Tower? Yu Yang asked coldly. You guys aren't? The snake-haired devil man didn't believe them. 4 esteemed guests have graced my humble abode with your presence. How can you stand at the door for a long time? This is truly against my way of treating guests. Please come in. A wise and far-sighted voice that sounded like that of a noble scholar floated out from within. Immediately, the ice door that was sealed by the Heaven Realm runic circle slowly opened. An even colder chill gushed out from within. Yu Yang extended his hand and used his pure yang energy to protect Shui Wuxiao and Princess Sisai. The 2 girls were safe and sound, but the right hand that Yu Yang extended was instantly covered in frost. Beneath his feet, even though Yu Yang tried his best to hold on, he still couldn't help but take 3 steps back. He retreated down the ice steps and his legs were forced to the surface of the snowy ground before he could stand firmly. The snake-haired devil man floated past Yu Yang. When he calmly stepped onto the ice steps, the frost only submerged his feet and didn't even reach his knees. It was completely unlike Yu Yang, whose frost extended all the way to his thighs. The cold air inside had yet to dissipate. The snake-haired devil man walked in proudly, completely unaffected. Other than the white fog that was emitted when the snake hair flicked out its red tongue, the rest of the time, it was as if he was in a normal space. Although Yu Yang didn't say it on the surface, he had to admit that the snake-haired devil man was stronger than him. Other than the demon dragon, Yu Yang hadn't met another man as strong as him yet. Even the Lionheart King, whose hidden strength was almost at the Domain Emperor level, couldn't compare to him. Yu Yang secretly judged that this snake-haired devil man, although he didn't say his name or his background, he was at least a Domain Emperor level ranker. He might even be a Heaven Realm great leader. Heaven Eye's divine vision could see through all truth. The Book of Truth, a semi-god weapon, could also reveal the truth of things. However, regardless of whether it was Yu Yang's Heaven Eye's divine vision or Shui Wuxia's Book of Truth, there was no information on this snake-haired devil man. This snake-haired devil man seemed to be invisible. There was no information about him at all. His ability to hide had reached an appalling level. The only thing that could be confirmed was that this guy didn't have any killing intent for now. When the cold air dissipated, Yu Yang, together with Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai, stepped on the ice stairs and followed closely behind this snake-haired devil man. After walking a few dozen steps, they entered the main door, passed through the spacious front hall and beautiful atrium, turned around the ingenious winding corridor and the ingenious main hall door, and finally entered the magnificent castle hall. This place was more luxurious than any castle in the world. The snow-white fur of the heaven-ranked Earth Bear King was spread on the ground. There was not a single blemish on it. The tables and chairs were made of pure gold. There was also a beautiful chandelier inlaid with diamonds. Even the tableware on the table was made of platinum. The extremely exquisite platinum cutlery was filled with steaming hot food. Evil Eye oxtail soup, 9 rolls of white jade lettuce, black pearl fish sauce, fried dragon liver, roasted wyvern wings, pan-fried angelfish, dreamy sweet banana boat, and Titan blood fire wine. Any one of these dishes was extremely extravagant. Let alone ordinary warriors, even the Heaven Realm King would not be able to afford it. One must know that every dish here was made from the body of a heaven-ranked war beast. There was even a fire wine made from Titan's blood. If this wine was given to an ordinary heaven-ranked warrior to drink it, they would probably explode and die on the spot. Of course, if they could absorb all of it, then warriors below heaven-ranked level 3 would have the possibility of breaking through. Sitting in the master's seat was a silver-haired old man dressed in luxurious clothes. He wore a pair of elegant single-chain spectacles. His neatly combed hair and glossy forehead showed his incomparable wisdom. If one were to look at his eyes, they would discover that they were as deep as the sea. Whether it was knowledge, wisdom, life experience, or attitude toward life, the owner of this pair of eyes had already reached the realm of having everything in the world in his heart and bearing the past and present. He was holding a strangely large black book in his hand. The mysterious heaven rune patterns on it were as complicated as the stars in the Milky Way. Seeing the snake-haired devil man, Yu Yang and the 2 girls enter, the silver-haired old man gently closed the book. His feet were bound by ice chains, but he did not stand up. Instead, he politely extended his hand to greet them. He did not look like a prisoner, but more like a noble scholar who could not walk properly. He expressed a cordial welcome to the snake-haired devil man, Yu Yang and the other 2, and warmly invited them to sit down and enjoy the feast together. "For esteemed guests, let's not talk about the purpose of your visit for now. To be able to meet each other is fate. You must know that this deity has not had any esteemed guests for thousands of years. It is really lonely to pass the time in vain. Today, 4 esteemed guests have arrived. Allow me, the host, to entertain you first, or else I will not be at ease." "Reverend Na Su, there is no need to be polite." The snake-haired devil man was the first to step forward and bow. "Chang Feng greets Senior. Your surname is Lai or Gu?" the wise silver-haired old man asked. "No, my surname is Dugu, a very rare surname in the heaven realm." Once the snake-haired devil man said this, the silver-haired old man immediately clapped his hands and praised, as expected of the descendants of the 4 great clans. This deity once heard of a legend. In the distant past, there were 4 outstanding warriors who were recognized by the supreme dragon god and were bestowed with 4 surnames. From then on, the heaven realm had the 4 great clans, and the Dugu clan is one of them. It is my honor to be able to meet the descendants of the Dugu clan today. In front of Senior, how would Chang Feng, who has no military achievements, dare to show off the glory of his ancestors? Compared to Senior, Chang Feng is just an insignificant junior. In terms of potential, I am not even as good as the genius youth from Tong Tian Tower and the 2 beautiful girls, the snake-haired devil man said modestly. Indeed, although the 3 of them are young, their intelligence is unparalleled. It is really rare to be able to reach the innate elder realm at such a young age. What makes this deity the most is that no matter if it is your strength or the 2 girls, they all have hidden their true strength. In terms of real combat power, I am afraid that they are not even comparable to the innate elder realm. This is even more rare. I have seen countless talents in the world, but who would not know that there is such an outstanding talent? When the silver-haired old man stared at Yu Yang had an illusion that he was seen through. He could only force himself to calm down. With his talent in disguise, and the protection of the Phoenix Sisters and the Qilin girl Bing-yin, even if the opponent was Demon Lord Lidi, he would not be able to see through his true strength. If he could see through it, he would definitely not say it. It was because he had doubts in his heart that he opened his mouth to probe. Yu Yang's will was comprehended in the gate of life and death, and he had reached the supreme innate elder will. Even if the silver-haired old man Demon Lord Lidi, and the snake-haired devil, the descendant of the Dugu clan of the 4 great clans, joined hands to probe him, he would not be affected at all. Not only did Yu Yang keep his mind clear, but he also linked his mind to Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai, making them look calm on the surface. The abnormal reaction of the 3 people made the silver-haired old man's eyes behind the monocle show a trace of admiration. "My friend, do you want to inform your family too? How can an outstanding disciple like you be a nameless descendant? Do you know that I am willing to repay the honor of my family to the envious master?" The silver-haired old man raised his hand amiably and asked Yu Yang. "I am also from the 4 great clans." When Yu Yang said this, the snake-haired devil was stunned. He looked at Yu Yang in surprise, as if he needed to get to know Yu Yang again. "Ah, my friend, you are also a descendant of the 4 great clans. Which clan are you from?" the silver-haired old man asked in surprise. "Yu clan." Yu Yang's answer made Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai feel dizzy. If not for the rise of Yu Yang, the Yu clan, which was one of the 4 great clans, would not even be considered in Tong Tian Tower. They would only be famous in the soaring dragon continent. Now, in Heaven Realm, they were even used to fool an old monster who had lived for tens of thousands of years. It really made people sweat to death. "Is there a Yu clan among the 4 great clans?" The snake-haired devil was confused and asked in disbelief. "My 4 great clans are a little different from yours. You are from the 4 great clans of Heaven Realm, while I am from the 4 great clans of Tong Tian Tower." Yu Yang answered. "Didn't you deny that you are a descendant of Tong Tian Tower just now?" The snake-haired devil felt dizzy again. Which part was the truth? Very good. To be able to be ranked as one of the 4 great clans of Tong Tian Tower, they are of course famous. Although Tong Tian Tower is small, how could it be any worse than Heaven Realm? Tong Tian Tower is filled with experts, and the younger generation of experts are endless. Only warriors from Tong Tian Tower would go to Heaven Realm to train and dominate for a time. Very few warriors from Heaven Realm would go to Tong Tian Tower to show off their prowess. From this, it can be seen that Tong Tian Tower is not inferior to Heaven Realm by a single star, and might even be better than Heaven Realm. My friend, as an outstanding descendant of Tong Tian Tower's 4 great clans, your outstanding appearance really makes me gasp in amazement. I wonder if you could tell me your name, and also the 2 young ladies. I was too busy introducing myself. I forgot to invite my distinguished guests to sit down. Sit, please sit. The silver-haired old man gestured for Yu Yang and the others to sit down, while enthusiastically asking for Yu Yang's name. Junior Shui Wuxia greets Senior. Shui Wuxia came down from Yu Yang's shoulder and stood on the golden chair. However, she found that there was no cold air here. Junior Jun Yuan greets Senior. Princess Sisai also sat on the other side of Yu Yang. Little friend? The silver-haired old man nodded very amiably, as if he was a kind grandfather seeing his granddaughter. No one could have imagined that in the near future, a fierce battle of life and death would break out between the 2 sides. It was like the calm before the storm. The more harmonious it was now, the crueler the battle would be. My surname is Yu and my name is Titan. Originally, I wanted to go to Heaven Realm with a few friends to broaden my horizons. You should know that compared to a big place like Heaven Realm, our Tong Tian Tower is like a small village in the countryside. We country bumpkins from the countryside haven't been able to enter the city for thousands of years, so we were especially impatient. We didn't even have the slightest bit of strength, so we anxiously came up here. Please forgive us. Yu Yang's words carried a hint. Little friend, you already have such strength at such a young age. I believe that the elders who nurtured little friend and the 2 young ladies must be extraordinary people. The silver-haired old man guessed deeply, just like what Yu Yang was hinting at. However, he didn't think that there weren't many powerful people in Tong Tian Tower. At least, other than Ji Zun and Night Empress, no one else could be considered. The snake-haired demon man suddenly thought of something and asked with a little shock. Little friend, you, from what you said, could it be that the prison emperor who was rumored to have passed away in Heaven Realm is still alive? Chapter 806. With regards to the snake-haired demon man and the silver-haired old man guessing that the prison emperor was here, Yu Yang just smiled and didn't reply. His impassive smile. It was also a kind of persuasive psychological suggestion. The expression of the snake-haired demon man and the silver-haired old man changed slightly, and a look of realization flashed across their faces. With the strength of Yu Yang, Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai, it was impossible for them to break through the sealed Heaven Realm passage and pass through the heavily guarded Heaven Realm gate of the central shrine to enter the Heaven Realm. The reason why the 3 of them could enter the Heaven Realm was mostly because they were led by a super-strong warrior from Tong Tian Tower with a grimoire. That person was most likely the prison emperor who had died in battle. The prison emperor didn't die. It seemed that the Heaven Realm was in chaos again. To the snake-haired demon man, it was none of his business. To the silver-haired old man, he hoped that the more chaotic it was, the better. It would be best if the order of the Heaven Realm collapsed. A great teacher produces a great disciple. The silver-haired old man raised his wine cup and saluted towards the outside of the hall, showing his attitude towards the prison emperor. And to thank Master for your warm hospitality and sumptuous banquet. The snake-haired demon man also raised his wine cup. Yu Yang looked at his wine cup for a long time, but didn't have the intention to lift it up. Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai naturally looked at Yu Yang. The silver-haired old man was slightly startled. Little friend, are you dissatisfied with this kind of simple hospitality? The snake-haired demon man laughed loudly and used his platinum knife and fork to cut the piping hot food, wolfing down the delicacies on the plate. Maybe a well-educated and cautious person would be worried, but I don't care about this at all. In front of delicious food and fiery wine, my politeness and modesty can be thrown to the 9 heavens. Look at this fresh dragon liver, tsk. I haven't eaten it for a long time. There's also the Titan's blood fiery wine. This thing, even if it's poison, I will gladly endure it. Yu Yang looked at the delicacies on the table, and then looked at the wine in his cup. Suddenly, he sighed. Even Princess Sisai was baffled by his sigh. Why did he sigh all of a sudden? Even if they were to fight later, they would have to eat their fill first. Could it be that a person like Yu Yang would feel guilty if he turned hostile after eating? Shui Wuxia smiled and asked, "What's wrong?" Yu Yang shook his head. "I'm reminded of a movie called The Matrix." "What is a movie?" For Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai, Yu Yang had a lot of new terms that were inexplicable. They were used to it and did not find it strange. If he did not explain his origin clearly, they would not ask too much. The silver-haired old man and the snake-haired devil man were a little curious. What was a movie? Could it be an image interwoven with lightning? Could it be an ancient sign? Little friend, can you tell us in detail? The silver-haired old man had a good temper. If one ignored the fact that his name was Demon Lord Adumbra, then most people would be willing to see this old man as a wise scholar. The story goes like this. In a mysterious world, the humans there are all controlled by intelligent puppet. They are all sleeping in the bodies of the puppets. The various types of energy emitted by their thoughts and wills are all collected by the puppets through a special method, becoming the source of energy for the puppets. In there, people are all sleeping, but none of them know the truth. They are all living a normal life in the dream that the mechanical puppet weaved for them. In that dream, they would feel that the food they eat is delicious, they would feel that their work is tiring, and they would feel that their sleep is comfortable. In short, no matter what they do, it is exactly the same as reality, but it is an illusory dream, a dream that provides energy for the mechanical puppet to operate. Yu Yang described it very vividly. When he said this, the silver-haired old man's eyes began to shine, and his originally smiling face gradually became serious. "Can no one see through the truth?" Shui Wuxia asked. "Yes, very few people know the truth. They escape from the bodies of the puppets with the intention of awakening more people. However, when their thoughts enter the bodies of the puppets and try to awaken others, telling them that this world is a dream, no one will believe them. Instead, they will think that they are abnormal. The intelligent puppets will immediately receive this information and send out thought killers to hunt them down. Once they are killed, the bodies that escape from the puppets will also die, unless their will is strong enough to completely ignore this kind of mental death," Yu Yang explained with a smile. "In the end, did the experts who tried to awaken the people succeed?" Princess Sisai asked again. "I didn't see the end, so I don't know if the rescue was successful." Yu Yang waved his hand. Although he denied it, everyone suspected that he knew the final truth. "Say, is there a possibility that we are all living in a dream similar to that world? In this dream, we feel delicious when eating, tired when working, and comfortable when sleeping?" Shui Wuxia asked again. "I don't know, I'm not the savior." Yu Yang couldn't answer this question. "Why are you not the savior? How do you know so many secrets?" The snake-haired devil realized that he could no longer eat the fragrant dragon liver. If he was really living in a dream made by the puppets, if this world was really a dream, then everything he did, wasn't it? He broke out in cold sweat. The silver-haired old man suddenly clapped his hands briskly. "Wonderful, what a wonderful speech! To be honest, I have never tried to doubt that I am living in a dream made by others. Little friend, how do you think that reality is a dream made by others? A long time ago I heard a legend. It was a legend that was so far away that it was said that the entire Tong Tian Tower is a godly grimoire. Of course, the Heaven Realm is no exception. No matter how much we jump, we can't jump out of the scope of 2 godly grimoires. The snake-haired devil had just picked up a piece of dragon liver and was hesitating whether to put it into his mouth. Hearing this, his body shook. The fork in his hand, along with the fragrant dragon liver, fell together. Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai were also stunned. Tong Tian Tower and the Heaven Realm were such huge worlds, how could they be a godly grimoire? Yu Yang didn't feel too surprised. After all, there were transmigrations. It was not strange to say that the Tong Tian Tower was a godly grimoire. Whether it was a godly grimoire or not, the Heaven Realm and the Tong Tian Tower were definitely different worlds. At a higher level, there might be a bigger and more advanced world. As for the essence of the Heaven Realm and the Tong Tian Tower, Yu Yang didn't bother to find out. Moreover, this was not something he could find out with his current strength. Everyone, cheers to us living in the godly grimoire. The silver-haired old man picked up his wine cup again and invited everyone to drink. Yes, although I can't hope to contract a godly grimoire in this life, it's not bad to be able to live in it. Cheers. The snake-haired devil laughed and threw away the chaotic flow in his mind. His eyes regained confidence and his original self. Yu Yang was still sitting, motionless. This time, even Shui Wuxiao and Princess Sisai felt a little strange. This kid was a little abnormal today. It's like this. I want to ask, regardless of whether we are living in the godly grimoire or living in a dream, in this Earth Demon Temple, is there a law that is the same as the law of the underworld? Yu Yang asked. The law of the underworld talisman? The silver-haired old man asked curiously. He found out that there was a law that he didn't know. It is said that the god of the underworld in the underworld took a fancy to a beautiful goddess, so he took her into his palace. He tried to persuade her every day, but the beautiful goddess didn't like him and insisted on leaving. The mother of the goddess was a goddess in charge of the earth's harvest. She cried to the Pantheon king, saying that the god of the underworld had taken away her daughter and imprisoned his precious baby. Because of the sadness of the goddess of harvest, the flowers on the earth no longer bloomed, the grains could not grow, and everything withered. The Pantheon king saw this and asked the god of the underworld to release the daughter of the goddess of harvest. The god of the underworld had no choice but to comply, but he found a loophole. When he told the beautiful goddess the good news, he sent her a table of delicious food. Unable to resist the temptation of food, and thinking that the god of the underworld really wanted to release her, the beautiful goddess happily ate the fruit that the god of the underworld sent. In the end, according to the law of the underworld, although she could leave, she had to stay in the underworld for a few months every year after eating the food of the underworld. Although the god of the underworld couldn't have the beautiful goddess forever, he had at least a few months every year to live with her. When Yu Yang told this story, the snake-haired devil immediately spilled the fire wine in his hand. The other hand that was reaching for the heavenly apple also retracted like a snake bite. He nervously swallowed his saliva and looked at the silver-haired old man. If, in this Earth Demon Temple, there was also the law of the underworld, after eating the food, she had to stay for at least a few months every year, then it would be over. After hearing this, the silver-haired old man suddenly became quiet. He opened the ancient book. Holding a monocle in one hand, he looked at it carefully, as if he wanted to find an example in it to confirm Yu Yang's statement. After a long time, he raised his eyes between the lines of the ancient book and shook his head. Little friend, I can't find any records in this ancient book that can confirm the dream of the Matrix and the law of the underworld that you mentioned. Presumably, this is also not the historical record of the Tong Tian Tower. Where did you learn about this? Where I know is not important. What's important is, does it really exist? Yu Yang smiled slightly, his eyes flashing with a cunning light. This. The silver-haired old man pondered for a while and said with certainty, Yes. What? The snake-haired devil suddenly exclaimed. How can there be such an example? Didn't you say that there is no such record in the heaven realm? There is one here in the Earth Demon Temple. The silver-haired old man closed the ancient book and stood up, revealing a smile that terrified the snake-haired devil man. In the Earth Demon Temple, everything is an illusion, and those who are confused by the illusion, especially those who have the blood of me, the Earth Demon Venerable, will suffer the endless torture of the laws and the torment of the soul with me. Lambs trapped in the Earth Demon Temple, I welcome your presence. However, do not be afraid, you are not the only one. The snake-haired devil, who had just drunk the Titan's blood-fire wine, was immediately sealed by the absolute zero ice. Even Yu Yang, Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai, who did not move at all, were constantly condensing cold air. It was only a matter of time before they were frozen. At this time, the snake-haired devil only realized that everything had disappeared. All that was left of the Earth Demon Temple was an empty hole in the ice. The silver-haired old man, who was a wise scholar, was hung on 9 ice chains. The lightning created by the nomological laws on his body was more powerful than sky punishment and sky punishment's thunder annihilation. It lingered on his body without dissipating. The Earth Demon Venerable was probably in constant pain and torture. What made the snake-haired devil most afraid was that around him, there were dozens of human-shaped ice sculptures. Obviously, they were the predecessors who had fallen for the same trick. Yu Yang put Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai back on his shoulders. His smile did not change. It was as if he did not see the cold air corroding his body, and did not see the ice moving up his legs. Like a student asking a teacher, he asked the silver-haired Earth Demon Venerable, "May I ask, we have not been confused, we have not eaten anything, why are we still restricted by the Earth Demon Temple? Can you explain it to us?" Chapter 807. This you don't need to know. As long as you become ice sculptures, you will have unlimited time to think about this question. I can guarantee that you won't waste a single minute of sleep. You will be awake every minute and every second of every day. The silver-haired old man's body flashed with electricity, causing his skin to emit green smoke. However, the silver-haired old man showed an expression of enjoyment. As if it wasn't pain, but pleasure. Yu Yang furrowed his brows as he stared blankly at the frost spreading from his legs. He tried his best to lift Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai up a little. Although this couldn't prevent the 2 girls from being frozen, it was his wish to slow them down a little. Shui Wuxia flipped through the Book of Truth, trying to find an answer. Princess Sisai raised the Prison Emperor Divine sword in her hand, as if she was going to attack at any time. If there was a target, she would have attacked long ago. But the enemy now was a sealed power, a rule left behind by the predecessors. Hence, even with the divine sword in her hand, she couldn't do anything. Damn it, this damned power, break for me! The snake-haired demon man struggled with all his might. The frost on his body suddenly exploded, scattering on the ground. The snake-haired demon man's body emitted a power that could destroy heaven and earth, as if a demon god had descended. He dispelled all the frost on his body. Then, he quickly took out a magnificent semi-god mirror, pain mirror, and shone its light on the silver-haired old man. When the pain mirror shone on the silver-haired old man, countless wounds immediately appeared on his body. Blood splattered on the spot, completely replacing the snake-haired demon man to bear the recoil of the rule. The blood didn't even have time to splatter on the ground as it froze in midair. When it landed on the ground, it had already turned into powerful icicles, nailed to the ground. There were also some icicles that shot towards the snake-haired demon man under the guidance of the silver-haired old man. The pain mirror spun again. The icicles that hit the silver-haired old man fell to the ground without any power. However, on the same spot on the silver-haired old man's body, strange wounds that looked like they were pierced by the icicles appeared. The silver-haired old man couldn't help but twitch in pain. The snake-haired devil man conjured another divine artifact. It looked like a flying shuttle and a frisbee at the same time. Jump up and glide in the sky. Faster than lightning. What surprised Yu Yang and Shui Wuxia was that the snake-haired devil, who seemed to be able to escape, was instantly frozen in the air along with the frisbee, forming an ice sculpture that floated in the air. Countless ice and frost hung down from the frisbee. Other than his head, the rest of the snake-haired devil's body was completely frozen. He no longer had the strength to struggle. With the last of his strength and willpower, he shook the mirror of pain out of the ice. Ha ha ha, it's useless. No matter what you do, you will never be able to leave the Earth Demon Temple. The power of the seal here has always been one that only allows entry and not exit. There are no exceptions, not to mention that you drank the wine made from my blood. According to the rules, you are my friend, so you have to bear at least 1/10 of my punishment, and this time limit is forever. The silver-haired old man couldn't stop laughing. There is another way. The snake-haired devil, whose throat was covered in ice, suddenly screamed in pain. You three, if you don't want to die, do as I say. Hurry! How do we do it? Yu Yang asked. Pick up the mirror of pain and transfer all the ice on your bodies to me, or to that old ghost. Use the godly sword to kill him. Only when he is dead will the seal be removed. The godly sword can kill him, only the divine artifact can. The snake-haired devil spat out a mouthful of blood that turned into ice. The ice and frost began to climb up his neck and spread to his head. The snake hair on his head all stood up in fear, but their tails were fixed on their heads, so they couldn't escape no matter how hard they tried. We can't use your mirror of pain. It's a divine artifact, too advanced. Yu Yang spoke the truth. You don't have to. I will control it. You just need to pick it up. The snake-haired devil could still use his spiritual power to control the mirror of pain, but he no longer had his hands. Under the power of the ancient code, his entire body turned into an ice sculpture. Will it really work? The cautious Yu Yang still had a trace of hesitation. I don't know, but it's better than doing nothing. The snake-haired devil spat out a mouthful of cold air in pain. The ice and frost had already started to spread to his cheeks. I don't have much time left. Hurry, hurry! The silver-haired old man knew that something was wrong. He hurriedly used his feet to activate millions of ice balls. They bombarded towards him. They were as dense as stars and as fast as lightning. His intention was to speed up the snake-haired devil, his strongest opponent, and to stop Yu Yang from picking up the mirror of pain. He didn't want to try the mirror of pain again. Although he valued Yu Yang, Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai, he didn't fear them as much as the snake-haired devil. After all, the snake-haired devil was the real descendant of the Dugu clan of the 4 great clans. He was different from the fake Yu Yang. Princess Sisai waved the prison Emperor Divine's sword and accurately cut through the storm-like ice attack. With the support of Shui Wuxia's yin energy, Yu Yang moved his frost-covered legs with difficulty and walked towards the mirror of pain step by step. Shui Wuxia opened the Book of Truth, and her spiritual power was also facing the silver-haired old man who was also opening the ancient book. Compared with Princess Qian's open defense against frost attacks, her spiritual battle was more dangerous. If she was not careful and let the enemy successfully sneak attack her, she would be in a state of mental breakdown. She might even become an idiot under the impact of the enemy's will energy. Hurry, hurry up! The snake-haired devil's face started to freeze. He couldn't even breathe out from his mouth and nose. He would probably turn into an ice sculpture in less than a minute. Don't be noisy. Yu Yang walked with great difficulty. In fact, if he didn't have Shui Wuxia's absolute ice energy, he wouldn't be able to break free from the ice seal just by relying on his restrained fire ability, let alone moving forward. Step by step, one footprint after another, Yu Yang walked with great difficulty. It was as if every step he took required all of his strength. Like a robot, he walked forward with heavy step. The short distance of more than 10 meters was like a heavenly moat. Princess Sisai used the Prison Emperor Divine sword to protect him, while Shui Wuxia secretly attacked him with her spiritual power. With great difficulty, he finally arrived in front of the snake-haired devil's ice sculpture. However, Yu Yang found that bending his waist was a problem. His movements were as slow and jerky as a rusty machine. At this moment, both the silver-haired old man and the snake-haired devil were extremely anxious. One wanted to stop him with all his might, while the other wanted to pick it up successfully. Of course, because of the power of the seal, they couldn't interfere directly. They could only leave everything to Yu Yang. Yu Yang stretched out his right hand. Bit by bit, he reached towards the mirror of pain. Just a little bit more and he would be able to touch it. Just a little bit more. Hurry, I can't hold on any longer. The snake-haired devil used the last of his spiritual power to break through the ice on his face. On the other side, the silver-haired old man crazily spewed out frost towards them. He secretly used his spiritual power to form a shock wave, intending to send Yu Yang, Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai flying. I'll let you go, as long as you don't touch it. The silver-haired old man even stated his conditions. Don't listen to him. The snake-haired devil urged Yu Yang to quickly pick up the mirror of pain and take control of the battlefield. No matter what, picking up the mirror of pain was the most important move. It was the key to turning the whole situation around. The silver-haired old man became anxious. He summoned a strange mechanical beast from the ancient book and charged towards them crazily. Its intention was very simple. It wasn't to attack Yu Yang, but to knock the mirror of pain further away so that he couldn't pick it up. Even a blind person could see that Yu Yang's resistance against the power of the ice seal had already reached the limit of his limit. If the mirror of pain was knocked away, even if it was 10 meters away, he wouldn't have enough energy to complete the 10-meter expedition again. Yu Yang's slow and trembling right hand competed with the mechanical beast in terms of speed. Whoever was faster would be the key to deciding the whole situation of the battle. Although the mechanical beast was fast, Princess Sisai's Prison Emperor Divine sword accurately slashed it into 2 halves. Its upper body flew over, but its lower body stayed on the icy ground. If it wasn't for Princess Sisai's frozen hand that was holding the divine sword, this mechanical beast would have been destroyed by the divine sword's sword chi. After this block, Yu Yang's hands were even faster. However, the moment his fingers touched the mirror of pain, Yu Yang suddenly stopped. Then, he retracted his hand with great effort. Under the baffled gaze of the snake-haired devil and the silver-haired old man, he slowly straightened his body. What are you doing? The snake-haired devil looked like he was about to faint. Nothing. Do you still remember the story I told you in my dream? Do you still remember the underworld law I told you before? That was all a test of mine. If I had picked up this mirror of pain, then I would be a real fool. Yu Yang revealed a helpless smile that would drive his enemies crazy. He straightened his body and held Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai's slender waists with both his hands. The 2 girls also kept the Book of Truth and the Prison Emperor Divine sword in tacit understanding. The mental shock wave and millions of frost rushed towards them. The 3 of them seemed to not have felt anything. Their bodies were hit by the millions of frost and mental shock wave without any defense, turning into a unique 3-in-1 ice sculpture. Then, in the next moment, the entire ice sculpture shattered like glass. It shattered into millions of pieces of different sizes. The ice castle and chains were still the same. The hanging silver-haired old man and the frozen snake-haired devil were still the same, but there were 3 people who were completely different. The 3-in-1 ice sculpture in front of the mirror of pain had disappeared. Yu Yang, Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai were still sitting on the golden chairs, as if they had never left. How is this possible? The silver-haired old man's expression changed when he saw this. Haha, of course it's impossible. Yu Yang smiled very happily, as if he had met an old friend in a foreign land, or suddenly met an old friend that he hadn't seen for a long time. His smile was especially friendly. He used his finger to lightly knock on the armrest of the golden chair. There was a dull metallic sound coming from the chair. How is it? Is the illusion we created more realistic than the one you created? Before I went to Heaven Realm, Her Majesty Queen Vivian Li had told me that I cannot trust anyone in Heaven Realm, no matter if they are friends or enemies. Fei Wenli is still alive. The silver-haired old man and snake-haired devil trembled slightly when they heard this. We will not discuss that question. Let's return to the problem of the current battle situation. Because everyone is suspicious of everyone, you, who claims to be from the 4 great clans, are no exception. Yu Yang pointed at the snake-haired demonic man and explained with a smile. I am your ally now. As long as we work together, we can fight against the reigning demon lord. Snake-haired devil roared in exasperation. Yes, that is what I have done. I have always been thinking of ways to fight against you, because you are the real reigning demon lord. Yu Yang exchanged glances with Shui Wuxiao and Princess Sisai, and finally came to this conclusion. What did you say? Are you crazy? Snake-haired devil was furious. I said that you are the reigning demon lord. Actually, I have evidence. Yu Yang pointed at the silver-haired old man who was hanging upside down on the 9 ice chains, enduring the punishment of the ancient code all the time, and said, He is not the real reigning demon lord, but your guardian beast. You used your inherent skill and used your guardian beast to bear the punishment of the ancient code on your behalf. You escaped this punishment with your real body. Or perhaps you also need to bear the same painful torture, but at least you don't have to hang on the 9 ice chains. At least you have recovered some of your strength. You cannot resist the power of the seal, nor can you leave. Your maximum range of activity is the Earth Demon Shrine. That is why you appeared behind us so coincidentally. Yu Yang smiled confidently, as bright as the sun. Let me tell you a secret. To be able to hide from my eyes and her book of truth, you must at least be a god. Even the legendary Temple Lord Ji Wuri, who is closest to a god, could not do it. You are not a god, yet you can hide from my eyes. This can only prove one thing. You are the master. Listening to Yu Yang's final judgment, the snake-haired demon man's face changed. His eyes instantly became as sharp as a blade. His killing intent soared to the sky. After a long time, the snake-haired demon man moved his eyes away from Yu Yang and looked at the Book of Truth in Shui Wuxiao's hands. Shui Wuxiao flipped through the Book of Truth as if nothing had happened. She did not care about the other party's gaze at all, as if the snake-haired demon man was blind. The snake-haired demon man looked at the prison Emperor Excalibur on Princess Sisai's back again and nodded his head heavily. I have made a mistake. I really did not expect that the children nowadays are so smart. I was too careless. I thought you were still young. Who would have known that you would be able to possess the Book of Truth and the prison Emperor Excalibur? You are not simple people. However, what I am most curious about is, what kind of ability do you have to make 2 female companions who possess divine weapons and semi-divine weapons listen to you? It can't be as simple as creating illusions, right? Very soon, you will know my abilities one by one. If you think that we dare to barge into the Earth Demon Divine Palace and challenge you, a demon lord without any abilities, then you are even more wrong. Yu Yang smiled again. This time, his smile did not give the snake-haired demon man a feeling of sunshine. Instead, it gave him an inexplicable chill that penetrated his heart. It was as if this smile was the smile of the Grim Reaper. Chapter 808. Is that so? The snake-haired demon was stunned at first, but he quickly reacted and sneered coldly. Then let me see. Fight. Yu Yang raised his hands slightly, and Shui Wuxiao and Princess Sisai immediately jumped up, their slender feet floating in his palms. Wait a minute before the battle. Can you satisfy this old man's curiosity? May I ask, little friend, Where did you find the flaw that I am the guardian war beast and not the real demon lord? The silver-haired old man suddenly took out a pen and paper, as if he wanted to write down the answer. Although he might not be able to use it in the future, at least he knew where the flaw was. Actually, it's very simple because of his inherent ability. If you are the real demon lord, then he is the guardian warbeast. If he is the guardian warbeast, then it is impossible to deceive us with the dispatch inherent ability that reduces the damage through various means. This is the biggest flaw. Especially in the later stages, after we used dreams and the laws of the underworld to test you, you still created a trick of injuring yourself. The combination of the dispatch inherent ability and the mirror of pain aroused our suspicions. Other than this biggest flaw, if you were the earth demon venerable and used the ancient code to seal us with ice chains, you wouldn't be able to stop us with just the power of your guardian beast. This is because you know that there are some ancient code that can exclude beasts from participating in battles. For example, this earth demon shrine. War beasts are forbidden in the earth demon temple. Even if they can appear, they have no fighting power. If you don't know this secret, why are you so arrogant to say that you can stop us? Yu Yang's words caused the silver-haired old man and the snake-haired demon's expression to change dramatically. Just now, we didn't summon war beasts because we wanted to force you to attack. In order to dispel our worries, you summoned a mechanical war beast to attack. In fact, when it came out, we confirmed the judgment in our hearts. It turns out that the laws of this earth demon temple really forbid war beasts to attack. Shui Wuxia opened the Book of Truth with incomparably elegant movements and said calmly, "My Book of Truth is one with my guardian war beast, and it is also connected to my mind. If this kind of mind is isolated, I can only judge that it is the seal of the law." No wonder. You've already seen through our plan. The silver-haired old man sighed. He pretended to be Dugu Changfeng of the four great families, entered the earth demon temple, and even drank the fire wine in front of everyone. As a disciple of the four great families, it is impossible for him to be so careless. Princess Sisai also expressed that there were many flaws. We will definitely pay attention to this detail in the future. After the silver-haired old man finished recording, he looked up and asked, "Do you have any last words?" "Remember this." Yu Yang sneered. "This is the 99th time I've heard this question. And the last time." The silver-haired old man put away his pen and paper with great certainty. The snake-haired devil man was the real devil venerable erection. He easily broke free from the ice seal. With his talent and the treasure, the mirror of pain, he could transfer the seal's power to the silver-haired old man, his guardian beast, at any time. Although it was impossible for him to truly leave the Earth Demon Divine Hall and completely break free from the Seal of Laws, it was very easy for him to fight with all his strength. With a wave of his hand, the mirror of pain returned to the Devil Venerable Erection's right hand. The Devil Venerable Erection turned around and changed into the Sky Demon Divine Armor, which was also a semi-god equipment. It was the best among the semi-god equipment, just a little bit away from becoming a divine equipment. Of course, this gap would be forever. A semi-god equipment could not be compared to a divine equipment, no matter how good it was. It was just like how a holy beast could not be compared to a divine beast, no matter how strong it was. Although the Sky Demon Divine Armor given by the Heaven-Splitting Demon Venerable was not a divine equipment, it was already in existence that no heaven ranker could break through. Unless one had a divine equipment, a supreme sovereign will, or used the power of laws. Otherwise, this Sky Demon Divine Armor would be an indestructible treasure. Regardless of whether it was the helmet, shoulder pads, battle armor, belt, arms, shin guards, or boots, the entire set of Sky Demon Divine Armor gave off a glow that was only inferior to a god artifact. If they were not in the Earth Demon Divine Palace where all power was sealed, the moment this Sky Demon Divine Armor appeared, the energy shockwave would be enough to shake the earth and turn night into day. Even though Yu Yang was prepared, he was still forced back 3 steps by the Sky Demon Divine Armor's energy shock wave. He had not even used a single move, and just the spread of the armor's energy was already so powerful. If a real battle broke out, how could he fight? The snake-haired devil Venerable Erection summoned a gorgeous holy Bible, which floated in front of him. He held the Mirror of Pain in his right hand and gently brushed the Holy Bible with his right. When he flipped to the next page, he took out a gigantic Devil Erection axe. The Devil Erection axe was also a semi-god equipment, but it was not given to him by the heaven-splitting demon Venerable. It was the weapon that made the Devil Venerable Erection famous. Its quality was similar to the Mirror of Pain, and it was slightly inferior to the Sky Demon Divine Armor. In the hands of the Devil Venerable Erection, that terrifying axe that weighed close to 5,000 kilograms was as light as a strand of seaweed. It was effortless, a light stroke. A deep and irremovable crack was immediately formed between the snake-haired Devil Venerable Erection and Yu Yang. The Devil Venerable Erection pointed at the crack with his axe and said confidently, "This will be your burial ground. You will never be able to escape, and you will never be able to cross the boundary. Because if you move, your body will be separated from your body in the next moment." "What's the point of him saying all this?" Yu Yang asked Shui Wuxia. "It's useless. However, he is stalling for time because we don't have his inherent skill. Once we use our own strength, the law of sealing will see us as a hostile target, and we will be sealed in this Devil God's book together." Shui Wuxia replied casually without raising her head. "If we don't resist, that sly silver-haired old man will take the opportunity to secretly release his frost power." Princess Sisai snorted angrily. Indeed, the silver-haired old man had already been sealed. If he used his strength to attack, he would at most suffer a little more punishment. However, if Yu Yang didn't resist, he would die a horrible death. In front of him was the snake-haired Devil Venerable Erection with his axe, and behind him was his humanoid guardian beast, the silver-haired old man, who was secretly sealing him with frost power. Yu Yang felt that it was indeed a little troublesome. The enemy was very cunning, using the law of sealing and the law of sealing in this Devil God's temple. No matter if he attacked or not, he would definitely die. Could it be that none of the powerful people who entered the Devil God's temple to challenge came out alive? Yu Yang suspected that among the group of unlucky ice sculptures, there was Heaven Realm's 4 great clans Duguchang Feng. Otherwise, how would the Devil Venerable Erection dare to impersonate a stranger? Moreover, the Devil Venerable Erection didn't have any information about Duguchang Feng, so how would he know if Prison Emperor and Fei Wenli were dead or alive? The snake-haired Devil Venerable Erection waved his axe, and a black light shone brightly, turning into thousands of black blades, shooting towards Yu Yang. However, the deadliest attack came from behind Yu Yang. The silver-haired old man's ancient book jumped out like an evil spirit. It bared its fangs and brandished its claws, tearing towards Yu Yang's back, intending to grab Yu Yang's heart with one claw. Yu Yang's afterimage disappeared. He appeared in front of the Devil Venerable Erection, who was waving his axe. At the moment when the devil axe was about to hit his head, Yu Yang swam past all the black blades like a fish in water. He cleverly rushed into the enemy's blind spot and punched the Devil Venerable Erection's chin with a soaring fist. In the sky, Princess Sisai jumped up, raised the Prison Emperor Divine Sword and slashed down heavily. Shui Wuxia landed behind Yu Yang. With lightning in her left hand and ice in her right, she ruthlessly attacked the Devil Venerable Erection's ears. Boom! The 3 of them were hit by the recoil and retreated. When Yu Yang, Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai returned to their best fighting position, they were surprised to find out that the Devil Venerable Erection was not injured at all. Other than the Prison Emperor Divine Sword, which left a shallow mark on the demonic armor's shoulder armor, proving the fact that it had attacked before, the other attacks were completely ineffective against Yu Yang and Shui Wuxia. Although you have the divine sword, you are still too young. You are unable to unleash the full power of the divine equipment. The devil venerable erection shook his head. You guys are really too weak. You are the weakest among the dozens of challengers. Alright, I don't want to play anymore. I will send you guys on your way. The painful mirror in his right hand shone on his body. Slightly tilting his body, the light reflected towards Yu Yang. An image that looked like the prison emperor divine sword in Princess Sisai's hand slashed towards Yu Yang's shoulder. The power was exactly the same as Princess Sisai's attack just now. Yu Yang couldn't dodge in time. Another image appeared behind him. It looked like Shui Wuxia. The ice and lightning in her hand struck towards Yu Yang's ears. In front of him, Yu Yang saw himself rushing into the blind spot in front of him and punching himself in the chin with a soaring fist. Even though he tried his best to dodge, it was completely ineffective. The 3 attacks all hit their target. Fresh blood spurted out from Yu Yang's shoulder. He was thrown far away like a kite with a broken string. The perfect combination of the mirror of pain and the demonic venerable's dispatch inherent skill allowed him to return most of the power of an attack to its owner. Moreover, it was impossible to dodge, and it would definitely hit. Shui Wuxia and Princess Qian Qian rushed towards the Earth Demon Venerable. They wanted to kill this guy to avenge Yu Yang, but who would have thought that the Earth Demon Venerable would take off his head and make a defenseless gesture? Do you want to cut off my head? Don't worry, use your divine sword to chop off my head to vent your anger. My head can be reattached after being chopped off. I am a demon. I wonder if you humans have this function? Ha, foolish humans, let me tell you a secret. We demon dwellers are an undying race. Even if you chop us into meat paste, we can still easily recover. Even the power of laws cannot easily annihilate us demon dwellers. Otherwise, why would you only seal us and not completely destroy us? The Earth Demon Shrine's challenge, you guys are too naive. This is a battle that is destined to be unwinnable. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm wasting my time, I wouldn't even need to waste my time. I could kill all of you instantly. He let go of the Earth Demon axe and raised his left hand. A terrifying and irresistible shockwave gushed out from his palm. Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai were like driftwood in a torrent. They disappeared without a trace in an instant. The 2 girls seemed to have been annihilated by the shockwave. The prison emperor divine sword fell from the sky and stabbed into the ice. Following that, 2 loud bangs could be heard. 2 dull bronze grimoires fell from the void to the ground. They seemed to be the 2 girls' belongings. Did they die just like that? Too weak. I wanted to play with them for a while longer. The Earth Demon Venerable shook his head. You are a smart kid. I thought there would be a surprise. I can't be sure that they are dead. Although their aura had disappeared, I couldn't see their final moments of death clearly. However, the silver-haired old man suspected that Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai were not dead yet. Hearing that, the Earth Demon Venerable stretched out his hand. A black light shot out from his index finger towards Yu Yang, who was lying in a pool of blood. First, it shot a hole in Yu Yang's heart. Then, he stretched out his hand and clenched it. The blood on Yu Yang's body immediately turned into a frost blade and pierced through his body. In less than 10 seconds, Yu Yang, who had been pierced by the frost blade, was once again covered in frost. He became an ice sculpture that was no different from the surrounding ice sculptures. Seeing that Yu Yang was killed on the spot and the 2 girls did not move at all, the silver-haired old man could only believe that they had already died in battle. He opened the ancient book and recorded. Heaven Realm's recent era's year, month, day, 3 Tong Tian Tower's descendants entered the palace to challenge. A trace of loneliness appeared in the Earth Demon Venerable's eyes. How long do I have to wait before I can leave? The day His Majesty the Sky Demon regains his freedom will be the day Master will be freed. The silver-haired old man smiled as he recorded the process of the battle. Those 3 kids just now were really not bad. It's a pity that they were too young, almost like babies. If they did not come here in advance, after a few hundred years, when they had fully grown, the battle would have been even more exciting. It's a pity that this apple was not ripe yet. Forget it, there are so many geniuses like this in Tong Tian Tower and Heaven Realm. Every once in a while, a large batch of them will be born. We have killed so many geniuses like this. The Earth Demon Venerable had already started to forget about Yu Yang. To him, there was no need to remember a dead person. Really, I thought that you guys would feel a sense of accomplishment after killing me. Who knew that you guys didn't even stand on my corpse to brag? An image flashed in midair. Yu Yang landed with a face full of disappointment. He raised his hands slightly, and Shui Wuxia, who was holding the Book of Truth, and Princess Sisai, who was holding the Prison Emperor Divine sword, floated down to his left and right palms. They were like fairies that descended from the heavens. On the ground, the two bronze grimoires, the Prison Emperor Divine sword and the ice sculpture that seemed to be Yu Yang's corpse disappeared without a trace. Yu Yang smiled brightly. I thought that you guys would be surprised. How is it? Isn't the illusion that I created more realistic than you guys? I wanted to let you guys be happy for a while, but after seeing your pretentious actions, I have to give you guys more surprises. I think that, in this world, there is something that you guys can't use your inherent skill and the painful mirror to reflect. The snake-haired Earth Demon Venerable did not believe him at all. Very good, what is it? Other than the power of the ancient code and divine sense. Is there anything in this world that can't be reflected? A special flame emerged from the bottom of Yu Yang's feet. When it appeared, the frost on Yu Yang's body quickly disappeared like a mouse seeing a cat, completely escaping Yu Yang's body. The flame grew bigger and bigger until it formed a fire armor that covered Yu Yang's body perfectly. Nirvana's flame? The Earth Demon Venerable's eyes twitched. He never thought that this mysterious young man would have the ability to control Nirvana's flame. This is just the beginning of the sorrowful wail. Yu Yang smiled even more mysteriously. He summoned his grimoire. Chapter 809. Yu Yang had already understood the rules of the Earth Demon Divine Palace after repeated attempts. It was not impossible to summon a beast here, but it could not be used in battle. Otherwise, it would be punished by the rules. This should have been a restriction set up by the senior who sealed the Earth Devil Venerable in order to prevent him from escaping. Without a beast to fight, the Demon Marshal could not escape from the Earth Demon Divine Palace. Other than not being able to use a beast, the Earth Demon Divine Palace could not condense energy to attack. Once condensed energy to attack, it would easily trigger the power of the seal. Moreover, the Demon Marshal didn't dare to attack recklessly. Furthermore, the ancient code's punishment would be transferred to the silver-haired old man, the guardian beast, through the dispatch inherent skill and the mirror of pain. He didn't dare to accumulate any sealing power. The Demon Marshal thought that he could use the rules of the Earth Demon Divine Palace to scheme against Yu Yang. Who would have thought that Yu Yang would see through it on the spot? What surprised him the most was the appearance of the Nirvana flame. Kill. The silver-haired old man who was hanging on the 9 ice chains struggled with all his might and dragged the ice chains down forcefully. His feet landed on the ground. A terrifying frost energy passed through his feet and went deep into the ground, straight towards Yu Yang's feet. Even with the protection of the Nirvana flame, Yu Yang's feet were immediately frozen. The power of fire and ice collided. Although the eternal Nirvana flame was unbeatable, the frost energy released by the silver-haired old man was still able to gain the upper hand for a few seconds. Die! The Demon Marshal did not give Yu Yang the chance to summon his grimoire. No matter if the summoned beast was useful or not, he would not give Yu Yang a chance to attack. It was 100 times faster than lightning. The Demon Marshal's demonic axe chopped down. Yu Yang put his hands together and accurately blocked the blade of the demonic axe on his forehead. Princess Qian Qian's prison Emperor Divine sword slashed at him, but it was useless. This was because with her strength, she could only leave a shallow mark on the extremely high-quality Sky Demon Divine armor. She couldn't hurt the standing Demon Elder at all. Shui Wuxia's attack was deflected by the Mirror of Pain, but it also failed. Taking advantage of the fact that Yu Yang's feet were sealed in ice, Demon Venerable Standstill raised his leg and kicked heavily on Yu Yang's chest. Yu Yang's small body couldn't take the blow that was like a lightning hammer. His waist bent backward, curved like an arch bridge. Yu Yang, who was still holding the demonic axe in his hands, dodged Demon Venerable Standing Ground's powerful kick. With his arms, chest, and abdomen clamped the leg, he twisted his body and flipped the Demon Venerable Standing Ground over. The moment he landed on the ground, the Standing Devil Venerable used his right hand, which was holding the Mirror of Pain, as a support, and borrowed the momentum to perform a roundhouse kick. His leg was like a hook, hanging upside down towards Yu Yang's already twisted body. The battle seemed unavoidable, but Yu Yang's body suddenly turned around and spun. He dodged Demon Venerable Standing Ground's roundhouse kick just in time. Whether it was the time or the distance, Yu Yang's control was impeccable. Demon Venerable Standing Ground's kick missed, and his body flipped over. On the other hand, the Nirvana flame on Yu Yang's body had completely melted the silver-haired old man's ice power. Regaining his freedom, Yu Yang, together with Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai, retreated once again, maintaining the 3-in-1 battle stance. An obvious footprint appeared on his chest, and a similar footprint appeared on the ice wall behind him, which was tens of meters away. It was merely a penetrative energy shockwave. Yet, it caused such a terrifying result. If Demon Venerable Standing Ground really hit him with his full strength, the consequences would be unimaginable. A trickle of blood slowly seeped out from the corner of Yu Yang's mouth. Even though it didn't hit him all the way, Demon Venerable Standing Ground's kick had still injured his internal organs quite badly. Fortunately, Yu Yang's battle experience and techniques far surpassed his peers, and he also had Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai to help him. If it was someone else, he would have been killed instantly by Demon Venerable Standing Ground. You won't be so lucky if you come again. Demon Venerable Standing Ground didn't believe that Yu Yang would be able to dodge another wave of attack. TSK, don't think that you can be so arrogant just because you've lived for tens of thousands of years. Yu Yang wiped the blood off the corner of his mouth. Just now, he was testing the waters for the last time, and the result proved that his guess was the same as what he saw with his Heaven Eyes divine vision. There was a loophole in the laws of the Earth Demon Shrine. Demon Venerable Standing Ground had found this loophole, and now he had found it too. Yu Yang's grimoire glowed brightly. He didn't summon any beasts, but the grimoire's world would always exist. There was no need to summon it. Even if it was a space that forbade summoning, it wouldn't be able to stop it from appearing when it was in its chaotic body state. Once the world appeared, not only would it increase the strength of its owner, Yu Yang, it would also grow like a black hole in the surrounding space. Even if this was the Earth Demon Shrine, it would still absorb energy like a black hole. There was no way to stop it. Just as Yu Yang had guessed, it was a special beast that didn't exist in the laws of the Earth Demon Shrine. If his guess was wrong, Yu Yang would be punished by the Earth Demon Shrine's laws. However, his previous probing and the existence of the Nirvana flame allowed him to confirm one thing. There was a higher-level existence above the normal laws, just like how there was a higher-level existence above the normal God. Nirvana's flame, world, these were all such existences. Even the prison Emperor Divine sword in Princess Sisai's hands, the semi-god weapon in Demon Marshall's hands, and the Book of Truth in Shui Wuxia's hands all provided strong support for Yu Yang's judgment. As long as you don't attack and are in a state of counterattack or defense, you won't be punished by the Earth Demon Shrine. Shui Wuxia flipped a page in the Book of Truth. She had already obtained one of the answers in the entire truth. This was the same as what Yu Yang had observed and judged with his heaven eyes' divine vision. With this definite answer, Yu Yang could then be at ease to unleash his power without worrying about the Earth Demon Shrine's punishment. The white tiger in my body has always existed. Princess Sisai also gave a definite answer. Since that's the case, let's start our counterattack. Yu Yang stretched out his hands, and the two girls floated into the air. Bits of starlight emitted from Yu Yang's body. It was resplendent like the Milky Way. It's just a small trick. The demon marshal's heart tightened. He looked fine on the surface just now, but his legs were actually in extreme pain from the Nirvana's flame. If it wasn't for the demonic armor protecting his body, he would have died miserably under the burning of the Nirvana's flame. Of course, Yu Yang's quasi-heaven rank strength was his biggest belief in victory. No matter how strong and abnormal this brat was, he was still a quasi-heaven rank. He wasn't even an innate elder. He definitely wouldn't be able to win this battle. The demon marshal rushed forward again and swung his axe wildly. In midair, he suddenly abandoned his axe. The demon marshal's axe slashed down as if it had a life of its own. At the same time, he stretched his left hand forward and released a destructive energy shockwave. The silver-haired old man couldn't help anymore. His action of dragging the ice chains just now was immediately punished 100 times by the Earth Demon Shrine. The lightning pillar blasted down from the top of the castle and struck his body. However, before he received the punishment, the silver-haired old man opened the ancient book and formed an energy barrier with the demon marshal's domain. It enveloped Yu Yang, Shui Wuxia and the others, preventing them from escaping the range of the energy shockwave. Rumble! The demon marshal who thought he could hit Yu Yang again realized that the moment he hit his opponent, there was another him in front of Yu Yang, doing the same action. The same axe slashed down, and the same energy shockwave shot out. The demon marshal was sent flying on the spot. Although he had the supreme grade demonic armor to protect his body and wasn't injured, he still shouted in surprise, "Impossible, this isn't an illusion." The stars around Yu Yang interweaved into countless beautiful patterns. The most obvious one was the commonly seen 12 constellations in the sky. For some reason, the 12 constellations that appeared were very similar to the legendary Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. It was as if the historical legends were real. An Aries walked down from the Aries constellation in the sky. With every step it took, the stars in the entire space would become brighter, and their power would increase by 1-fold. With just a few steps, the power of the 12 constellations increased by several-fold. Behind it there was a golden barbaric bull. It didn't look like the gentle and elegant Aries. Instead, it looked like it was going to fight with its life on the line. Its eyes were red, and its nose was spewing out flames and smoke. It followed behind the golden barbaric bull angrily. From time to time, it would lower its head, as if it wanted to use its horns to flip the Aries in front of it. With every step the golden barbaric bull took, the demon marshal could feel the gravitational force increasing by 1-fold. Its body had an indescribable gravitational force, as if it wanted to suck the demon marshal over. These seem like illusions, but they aren't illusions at the same time. What kind of domain power is this? Even the materialization of divine sense can't be so real. Who are you? The demon marshal stretched out his hand, wanting to release an energy shockwave to destroy the Aries and the golden barbaric bull in front of him. Suddenly, he saw a shadow slowly walking out from the darkness. This shadow seemed to have walked out from the endless darkness. It walked for a long time under the demon marshal's gaze. Suddenly, the demon marshal noticed a strange sign. His energy shockwave hadn't even fully condensed yet. Therefore, this shadow had only appeared for less than a second. Which one of us is the shadow? The shadow walked to the front of the demon marshal. The demon marshal realized that this shadow looked exactly like his twin brother. It was even more similar than his own reflection in the mirror. "You can talk. The demon marshal didn't expect that this shadow, who had the same strength as him, could talk. Isn't this illusion too real? Gate of life and death, gate of life and death. The silver-haired old man reminded the demon marshal. This was the gate of death in the Heaven Tower's gate of life and death. How many special abilities do you actually have? The demon marshal was shocked. He immediately calmed himself down, but when he saw that Yu Yang had condensed He Gui Tsang and Bai Shuang Hua, he couldn't help but roar, "Aren't you too much? You're just a quasi-heaven ranker. Where did you get so many abnormal special abilities? If this isn't an illusion, how come your sword chi isn't restricted by the ancient code and the power of the seal? Tangible sword chi, what kind of sword chi is this? Do I have to tell you that I've learned the Buddha's palm before?" Yu Yang's tone was as low-key as Stephen Chow's. Would the ancient code restrict Yu Yang's innate invisible sword chi? Innate skills, domains, treasures and beasts couldn't restrict innate sword chi at all. It was an existence that surpassed everything. Yu Yang already knew that, but he couldn't guarantee that it wouldn't be restricted by the ancient code. Now, after secretly condensing it, he realized that the ancient code in the Earth Demon Shrine could completely ignore the existence of innate sword chi. Seeing that his trump card was still useful, Yu Yang naturally became proud. Just when the demon marshal was secretly disappointed in He Gui Tsang and Bai Shuang Hua, he suddenly saw Yu Yang's 10 fingers moving, as if he was pulling out a thin line. His body suddenly felt some kind of restriction. The power of the ancient code? This brat also knows how to use the power of the ancient code? The demon marshal screamed in fear. He wanted to escape, but he realized that his body was restricted, and he couldn't move at all. He could only watch as Yu Yang floated towards him with the 2 girls floating in the air. 2 deadly sword chi pierced through his heart. It was the first time in tens of thousands of years that the shadow of death appeared in his heart. He couldn't help but shout in fear, "Impossible! This is an illusion. The gate of life and death is real." "Senior, your mournful cry before you die can be even more mournful," Yu Yang replied. Chapter 810. Yu Yang didn't use He Gui Zhang and Bai Shuanghua to attack the demon lord's standing ground. Instead, he changed his direction and stabbed the silver-haired old man's heart and forehead. The silver-haired old man didn't expect that Yu Yang was actually attacking him. His body trembled slightly. Then, he trembled in pain under the damage of the 2 swords. He was a humanoid guardian beast, so he wouldn't really die. However, if he was severely injured or was being punished by the ancient code, the demon lord's standing ground wouldn't be able to use the mirror of pain and dispatch inherent skill to transfer the damage to him. Yu Yang had already noticed this and saw through it. Before he attacked the demon lord's standing ground, he used He Gui Zhang and Bai Shuanghua to pin the silver-haired old man down. The demon lord's standing ground moved extremely slowly. He forcefully moved his body in an attempt to escape from Yu Yang's second wave of attack. He didn't know what other attacks Yu Yang had, but he knew that they wouldn't be simple. "Pa!" Yu Yang brushed away the demon lord's standing ground's helmet with his palm. This ingenious brushing force didn't have any attack power at all. It didn't cause the Sky Demon Divine Armor to defend against it. Furthermore, this force mysteriously deceived the Sky Demon Divine Armor's consciousness, just like how the Demon Lord's standing ground took off his helmet. Princess Sisai slashed her sword down on the Demon Lord's standing ground's head. The divine sword slashed a bloody wound on the Demon Lord's standing ground's head. The sword chi penetrated through his body and left a deep crack on the ground. A small mechanical beast quickly appeared under the feet of the demon marshal. The demon marshal slightly tilted the mirror of pain in his hand. After receiving the prison emperor divine sword's attack, the damage was transferred to the small mechanical beast's body. The small thing immediately turned into powder. The demon lord's standing ground only regained his freedom after he diverted the slash. When he dodged Shui Wuxia's second attack, he realized that there was a little Lamia behind him. Not only his inherent skill, he also has a domain. A domain that can lock onto a target and transfer damage to him. Shui Wuxia had already made a detailed observation of the Demon Lord's standing ground's abilities. The weakness is here. Yu Yang was responsible for finding the opponent's weakness during the battle. When Princess Sisai spun her divine sword and sliced through the Devil Venerable Standing Ground's neck again, the second mechanical beast appeared, but Yu Yang stepped on it and crushed it. Demon Venerable Standing Ground laughed coldly, and a small mechanical beast appeared behind him to take on the attack of the divine sword on his behalf. He swung his great axe and sent Princess Sisai flying. Then, he raised his axe energy and slashed at Little One Li. Little One Li's eyes widened in anger. The binding inherent skill erupted violently. Standing Ground Devil Venerable, who was swinging his axe, was still maintaining his slashing motion. Even the axe's astral axe was frozen in midair. At this moment, the might of the divine beasts will surpass the combination of the Demon Lord's Standing Ground's inherent skill, treasure, domain, and will. Yu Yang and Little One Li had great teamwork. Unknowingly, the stars under their feet had already formed an eternal wheel. Little One Li released her binding inherent skill, leaped up, and slashed at the Demon Venerable Standing Ground's axe with her two blades. The Demon Venerable Standing Ground's axe trembled for a while. Under Little One Li's ingenious rotation, it strangely escaped from the Demon Lord's Standing Ground's palm and flew into the sky. In the sky, Princess Sisai, who had condensed the Azure Dragon's saint power, was waiting for an opportunity. Shui Wuxia's attack was 10 times faster than before. She stood upside down on the roof of the palace and reached down with her hands. Lightning and frost struck the ears of the Demon Lord Standing Ground from both sides. Yu Yang pressed one hand on the Demon Lord Standing Ground's face. Nirvana flame erupted like a volcano and entered the Demon Lord Standing Ground's nose and mouth. "I'll send you on your way." Princess Sisai swung the Prison Emperor Divine sword with her greatest strength and chopped off the Demon Lord's Standing Ground's head in one strike. Yu Yang, who had just dodged the Divine Sword's sword chi, chased after the Demon Lord Standing Ground and kicked the Demon Lord Standing Ground's head out of the Earth Demon Palace. The silver-haired old man who was suffering from He Guizong and Bai Shuanghua looked at everything in confusion. Chopping off the Demon Lord Standing Ground's head wouldn't be able to kill him. What's the use of that? Furthermore, even if he was kicked out of the palace, the Demon Lord Standing Ground wouldn't be able to escape from the power of the Ancient Code because of the Ancient Code's seal. He would automatically be bounced back into the palace and wouldn't be affected by space and distance. Whether it was using sword chi to injure the guardian beast or chopping off the Demon Lord Standing Ground's head, it wasn't a fatal injury. Why did Yu Yang and the two girls still insist on doing this? The silver-haired old man couldn't understand at all. The head that was bounced to the ground showed a pained expression. This wasn't only caused by the Prison Emperor Divine sword in Princess Sisai's hand, it was also caused by the Ancient Code's punishment. Every time he moved a meter away from the Earth Demon Palace, the Ancient Code's punishment would be doubled. When it reached the limit, it would even explode. The Demon Lord Standing Ground's head spat out an energy shockwave towards the ground and bounced back into the palace using the Ancient Code's power. After the Eternal Wheel disappeared, the body that had lost its head immediately shook off Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai, who were trying to stop it, and rushed towards its own head. Even if it was an immortal demon cultivator, it didn't feel good when its head was chopped off. The moment he entered the palace, Shui Wuxia suddenly reached out her hand. She gripped it lightly. The lightning and ice energy that was poured into his ears exploded. The right ear of the Demon Lord Standing Ground's head exploded, while his left ear spat out a gust of ice, sealing the head on the palace's door. Princess Sisai also used her sword as a support and activated her Black Tortoise holy power. The dragon head broke through the ground, causing the headless Demon Lord Standing Ground's legs and knees to be sealed by ice. The more he moved, the slower he moved. Little One slid over and slashed crazily at the headless body. Even though she couldn't severely injure the demon lord standing ground, who was wearing the sky demon divine armor, every time she slashed, the headless body of the demon lord standing ground would be sealed in ice. What are you guys doing? Do you think you can kill me like this? Impossible, I'm an immortal demon cultivator. The demon lord standing ground was furious. Nirvana's flame can purify everything. Princess Sisai mentioned a possibility. However, the Earth Demon Palace's rule is to seal me and make me suffer endless pain and torture. Nirvana's flame can kill the demon cultivators, but I will be able to escape under the protection of the rule. As long as the Earth Demon Palace exists, I will exist as well. No matter what you guys do, it will all be in vain. The demon lord standing ground laughed coldly. His most fearless asset was the rule seal that allowed him to endure endless punishment. Since he had his guardian beast as a substitute, this weakness became the ultimate protection of his immortal body. That's why we want to destroy this Earth Demon Palace. Yu Yang revealed his true purpose of coming to the Earth Demon Palace. Senior, killing you is only my side mission. My true goal is to absorb the rule seal here. What did you say? The demon lord standing ground couldn't believe his ears. A guy who wasn't even an innate elder dared to say that he wanted to absorb the rule seal of a god? By standing here, we have already succumbed to the rule seal. If we take a step further and assimilate the rule seal, we will no longer be restricted by the rule seal. If we take a step further and surpass the rule seal, we will be able to escape from the rule seal. Finally, the final step, if I can absorb the power of the Earth Demon Divine Palace's ancient code, wouldn't I be able to control the entire Earth Demon Divine Palace? Yu Yang proposed a dreamlike idea. You're crazy. The demon lord standing ground had seen all kinds of people in his life, but he had never seen a lunatic like Yu Yang. I'll let you broaden your horizons. The rule seal here is the best nourishment for me to become an innate elder. Why do you think I came all the way here to fight a meaningless battle with you? It's really to kill you. Wrong, you should be punished endlessly. I just need to become stronger, that's why I came here to absorb the rule seal. At the same time, I'll kill you out of mercy and end your unforgivable life. Yu Yang stretched out his arms, and the rule seal slowly appeared on his body. Just like the Night Empress Starry Sky Domain, the white goat, the golden barbaric bull, and the Gemini image appeared one after another. The white goat, the golden barbaric bull, the Gemini image and the others appeared one by one. The summoning grimoire's world was strengthened to the maximum. It frantically absorbed the energy in the surrounding space. No matter if it was ice, fire, lightning, or any type of energy, it absorbed all of it, turning it into nutrients for its evolution. The Earth Demon Palace's rule seal was challenged by Yu Yang's rule seal, and immediately changed. It was no longer as hidden as before. It was as if a god had descended. An unimaginably majestic power appeared in the Earth Demon Divine Palace and pressed down on Yu Yang, intending to destroy all of his consciousness that challenged the ancient code, annihilate and obliterate him, turning him into a walking corpse that submitted to the ancient code. At the same time, 99 ice chains extended towards Yu Yang like white snake. They worked together with the rule seal to imprison this challenger. The senior ranker who created the Earth Demon Palace had set this rule. No matter who tried to challenge the Earth Demon Palace's rule seal, they would receive 10 times the rule seal's rule seal. The demon marshal was shocked at first, but then he rejoiced. You're finished. From now on, both of you can stay and be my companions. Ha ha, ha ha. In less than 2 seconds, Princess Qian Qian cut off his tongue with a wave of her divine sword. The headless body that was still holding the mirror of pain moved its arm slightly. The mirror of pain tilted slightly, and the light reflected onto a mechanical beast not far away. The mechanical beast shattered, and the demon marshal who had his tongue cut off recovered immediately. His tongue and lips returned to their original state. It's useless. No matter how you try to hurt me, it's useless. Moreover, I can send you out of the Earth Demon Palace. Because this brat tried to challenge the rule seal, the entire Earth Demon Palace will be sealed again. Let's meet again in 1,000 years. I hope you can think of your last words to say to your loved ones in 3 seconds. 2 circles of light appeared around Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai. The mirror of pain reflected the light. The demon marshal looked at the 2 girls and laughed mercilessly. Goodbye, I won't send you off. The 2 girls disappeared immediately after being hit by the light. At the same time, little Wenli, who was trying to dodge, was also sent out of the Earth Demon Palace by the demon marshal's dispatch inherent skill. The headless body walked to the door of the palace, took off the head with both hands, and placed it back on the neck. When the flesh and blood were reconnected, it shook the head. When it realized that there was no discomfort, it smiled at Yu Yang, who was struggling to resist the power of the rule seal and using the nirvana flame to resist the 99 ice chains of the rule seal. What a fool! I dare say that there has never been a human as arrogant as you. With the power of an innate honorable, you want to challenge a god who can seal me, the demon marshal, with the power of the rule seal? TSK, I never thought that there would be someone like you in this world. Alright, pitiful creature, stop struggling. You want to defeat a giant dragon with the power of an ant? To think that you have such senseless courage. Because I am me, and because you are not me, you will never be able to understand my realm. Yu Yang laughed instead of getting angry. Let me wait and see how long you can be so stubborn. Just hold on for a little longer, okay? I really don't want this thrill to disappear from my body so quickly. The demon marshal laughed maniacally. Shui Wuxia, Princess Sisai, and little Wenli were running out of the cave. It was as if they knew that something terrifying was about to happen. They had just escaped from the cave. Behind them, there was an indescribable force that pressed their bodies down to the bottom of the cliff. They couldn't even lift their heads, they couldn't even blink their eyes. In the Earth Demon Shrine, Yu Yang, who knew that Shui Wuxia and the others had left safely, unleashed the power of the ancient code that was inspired by the card of fate on his body. It was a power of the ancient code that he couldn't control normally. An immeasurably tall golden giant rose above Yu Yang's head. Even a single toe of the golden giant was 10 times taller than Yu Yang. In front of this golden giant, everything was insignificant. The arrogant demon marshal knelt on the ground while laughing maniacally. He used his hands to support himself, and even his heartbeat stopped. He couldn't even breathe, let alone struggle. The Earth Demon Shrine that was created by the gods let out a terrifying cracking sound. The power of the ancient code that sealed the demon marshal couldn't be compared to the power of the golden giant at all. In an instant, the golden giant exploded, and the dome was pierced through. The entire Earth Demon Shrine couldn't even contain one of the golden giant's feet. 99 ice chains exploded. The ice chains that were forced into Yu Yang's body by Nirvana's flames exploded like powder, turning into mindless energy that was absorbed by the world and Yu Yang crazily. The godlike energy source that existed in the Earth Demon Shrine paled in comparison to the golden giant. The godlike image of the godlike energy source that was only 200 to 300 meters tall didn't even reach the golden giant's knees. The head and chest of the golden giant couldn't be seen at all as it towered into the sky. Dozens of kilometers away, Fatty Hai, Yi Kong and the others were fighting. When the golden giant appeared, they were all suppressed to the point that they couldn't move at all. The surrounding evil treants and delusional monsters all fell to the ground at this moment. Many of them turned into black fog and disappeared, the dignified image of a deity shattered soundlessly. Maybe it was crushed by the golden giant, or maybe it had lost the support of its will. The energy had completely turned into free energy without any attribute or consciousness. Together with the power that formed the seal, it flowed towards Yu Yang and the summoning grimoire like a galaxy. The golden giant disappeared. The light on Yu Yang's body became even more dazzling. It was 1,000,000 times more intense than before, and it almost had the power of a legendary god. At this moment, he had truly reached the final stage of breaking through to the elder innate realm. He probably wouldn't waste a huge amount of energy and risk being sealed again to save this guardian beast that was punished for his master. Go, it's dangerous here. At this moment, the demonic venerable did not care about his freedom. It was still too early to talk about freedom. Once that brat finished absorbing the power of the laws, he would rebuild the Earth Demonic Temple and seal it again. Yes, I'll clear the path. The silver-haired old man always remembered his duty as a guardian beast and summoned the gigantic ancient book. Just as he was about to escape from the destroyed Earth Demon shrine with the Holiness Devil Venerable, 3 figures suddenly appeared in front of them. Unknowingly, a thick ice wall had formed in the passage. These ice walls were formed by the combination of the extreme cold energy and the mental strength of Xue Wuxia's divine telekinesis domain. Before Xue Wuxia was defeated, no one would be able to pass through the ice wall formed by this domain. Xue Wuxia, who had the same inherent skill of heart as Yu Yang, would benefit a lot every time Yu Yang leveled up in battle. Due to the connection between their inherent skill of heart and mirror, she would benefit a lot from it. At the very least, her comprehension of the realms would be able to fuse as one. When Yu Yang broke through to the innate elder realm, she had also opened a window in her mental strength that she had never seen before. Although she did not level up, her strength and mental strength had undergone an earth-shattering change silently. Xue Wuxia raised her hand. The source of the laws in the distance seemed to have sensed it. A strand of them spread out and flowed towards her palm. Little Wen Li and Princess Sisai stood on her left and right, protecting her so that she could absorb and fuse with the power of the laws that no longer had any attributes or will control. Kill! The silver-haired old man cursed in his heart. Other than that abnormal brat, the little girl who loved to read could also absorb the law energy. Once she succeeded, not only would he and his master not be able to leave, they would also continue to suffer in this Earth Demon Temple. With killing intent in his heart, he flipped open the ancient book. Although he was heavily injured by the pressure of the golden giant, the silver-haired old man still had an extremely strong power. Boundless black energy exploded like a tsunami. The entire rocky ground seemed to have been set off by a raging wave. Soil, sand, mud, and stone pounced towards the 3 girls like a demon descending into the world. Faster than the silver-haired old man was the snake-haired man, the standing ground demon Venerable. In the blink of an eye, the standing ground demon axe had already reached Princess Sisai's face. Without the law seal of the Earth Demon Temple, even if he was heavily injured, even if he could only unleash 1/10 of his peak power, it was enough to instantly kill any ranker below heaven-ranked level 5. While the standing ground demon Venerable was slashing at Sisai, he still had the time to take out the mirror of pain and shone it at little Wen Li, reflecting her binding inherent skill onto the silver-haired old man's body. Even if the silver-haired old man's body was bound and frozen on the spot, he was completely fine. In the nick of time, Princess Sisai bent her waist and retreated. The prison Emperor Divine sword blocked in front of her. It blocked the slash of the demon axe, but as the standing ground demon Venerable waved his hand, the demon axe gave birth to an extremely strong vibrating force. Princess Qian, who had just fallen to the ground, shot backwards like an arrow. Her body smashed into the frost rock surface, creating a deep pit. Her head even slammed into the ice wall with a loud bang. When I regain my freedom, do you think you can stop me with just the few of you? The standing ground demon Venerable was deeply affected by the law in the Earth Demon Temple. He needed the mirror of pain and dispatch, inherent skill to get rid of the power of the seal. He couldn't unleash his true power at all. Now that he regained his freedom, even if he was heavily injured and could only use 1/10 of his power, it was still much stronger than when he couldn't even use 1/100th of his power in the seal. Ding 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 ding. Little Wen Li's hundreds of slashes were easily blocked by the standing ground demon Venerable. Wearing the demonic divine armor and regaining his freedom, he wasn't afraid of Little Wen Li's attacks at all. Whether it was blocking, it was more than enough. Other than divine weapons, divine sense and the power of the law, the standing ground demon Venerable didn't care about any other attack. After the silver-haired old man froze, the black energy wave recovered and swept towards Little Wen Li and Shui Wuxia. Before Shui Wuxia could react, Little Wen Li summoned her diamond grimoire and raised her protective shield. It only lasted for 2 seconds before the standing ground demon Venerable reached out his hand and broke through the protective shield. He grabbed one of Little Wen Li's 2 blades and threw her towards the ice wall. When Little Wen Li was thrown into the air, 2 of her 6 hands were holding a bow. However, before she could draw her bow, the standing ground demon Venerable had already caught up to her. He didn't punch her in the face just because she was a little lowly. Princess Qian Qian grabbed Xiao Wen Li's snake tail in her hand. She quickly pulled her out of the dangerous situation. The demon Venerable standing ground punched the ice wall. The ice wall that was formed by divine sense and frost immediately cracked. Pfft! Shui Wuxia, who was absorbing the power of the law, was mentally injured. Her body trembled slightly, and she spat out a mouthful of blood. With her as the center, the black energy wave spun out millions of black demon blades and rotated crazily. From Shui Wuxia's Book of Truth, a storm goddess messenger came out fiercely. She punched the ground angrily and froze the entire vortex of the black energy wave. Millions of black demon blades froze together. They were so close to turning Shui Wuxia into powder. However, they would never be able to achieve this wish. Shui Wuxia, who spat out a mouthful of blood, continued to absorb the power of the law with her left hand. The fingers on her right hand trembled slightly. In the Book of Truth, she gently flipped a page. An ice chain appeared on the ice wall and extended as if it had a life of its own. It automatically chased after the demon Venerable who was about to attack Princess Sisai. The standing ground demon Venerable glanced at the ice wall as if he had seen a ghost. The moment he attacked Princess Sisai, he turned around and dodged the ice chain. This was the ice chain that was sealed by the law of the Earth Demon Divine Palace. It was exactly the same, just that the quantity was different. If he was chained by it, the ending would be very tragic. The silver-haired old man couldn't be bothered to continue his long-range attack. He closed his ancient book and kicked Shui Wuxia's face. The standing ground demon Venerable also realized that Shui Wuxia was his second greatest enemy. She was even scarier than Princess Sisai, who wielded the Prison Emperor Divine Sword. He and the silver-haired old man attacked from the front and back. On the ground, Princess Sisai flung Little Wen Li, who was in her arms, away. Little Wen Li, who was chasing after the standing ground demon Venerable like an angry arrow, was of course slower than the standing ground demon Venerable. However, under her divine beast unparalleled willpower and binding inherent skill, the standing ground demon Venerable and the silver-haired old man were shocked to realize that their speed was getting slower and slower. In the end, they almost stopped. The 3 of them were slowly swimming in the air. Compared to them, Little Wen Li, who was flung away by Princess Sisai, was a little faster. It's too late. What kind of person was the standing ground demon Venerable? He calculated the distance and estimated that Little Wen Li would still be a short distance away from him. Furthermore, even if she managed to catch up to him, there would still be attacks in front of her. She wouldn't be able to stop this wave of attacks. What a joke! Princess Sisai grew a pair of wings on her back. The vermilion bird's raging flames filled the entire Earth Demon Divine Palace ruins. Even under the pressure of the divine beast's willpower, she was still as fast as a shooting star. In the blink of an eye, she had overtaken Little Wen Li. She caught up to the standing ground demon Venerable. Princess Sisai didn't attack the enemy immediately. Instead, she rushed to the front of Shui Wuxia and raised the prison Emperor Divine Sword. Using the Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird and Black Tortoise's 6 records inherent skill, she slashed the ancient book in the silver-haired old man's hand. The standing ground demon Venerable and the silver-haired old man were stunned. They didn't understand what was going on. The prison Emperor Divine Sword slashed the ancient book in half. Shui Wuxia, who hadn't moved at all, was 10 times faster than Princess Sisai. She pressed her left and right hands on the ancient book, and the Book of Truth shone 1,000 times brighter behind her. The Storm Goddess Envoy screamed. She quickly changed and evolved. Under the perfect combination of Heart Mirror, Ancient Code Power and Ancient Books knowledge provided by Shui Wuxia, she leveled up. The divine light was like a pillar that pointed to the sky. Although she wasn't an official deity yet and had just leveled up to a divine general, she already had some divine power. Although she had just stepped into the realm of a peak divine general, and her control of power and intelligence was not as good as man's inheritance, this kind of self-evolution was more powerful and had more potential. When Devil Venerable Holdy's fist landed on Shui Wuxia's back, intending to kill her with a single punch, the Storm Goddess Envoy, who was still in the process of leveling up to Storm Goddess General, exploded in anger. Protect her master. Her divine power filled the entire space. She Void reached out her hand and grabbed the standing ground demon Venerable. She then fiercely threw the standing ground demon Venerable onto the ice wall. The ice wall was pierced through 100 meters. The standing ground demon Venerable didn't even have the time to groan in pain. The silver-haired old man who had just picked up the painful mirror and was about to transfer the damage to his master was smashed into the ground by the Storm Goddess Envoy. The painful mirror spun in the air and shone on Princess Sisai. The light was then reflected onto an ice sculpture. The ice sculpture cried out in pain and jumped up. He held his head and groaned in frustration. This young master got shot even though I was lying down. Princess Sisai realized that the damage she had received earlier was really transferred by the painful mirror. She was slightly surprised. She didn't have the dispatch inherent skill, right? When she looked at the man who had just woken up from the ice sculpture, she was even more dumbfounded. This was because she saw a second snake-hair demon. A snake-hair demon that looked exactly like the standing ground demon Venerable. Could it be that there were 2 standing ground demon Venerables? Chapter 8:12. Princess Sisai raised her sword and cut down the snake-hair demon man who looked exactly like the demon lord. She didn't care who he was, she would kill him without hesitation. Before she could swing her sword a second time, the snake-hair demon man took out a small white flag and raised it up high. I surrender, I surrender. In the end, it wasn't what he had expected. Princess Qian brought the white flag along with her people, raised her sword and chopped them down. The snake-haired demon man, who didn't die even after being slashed twice by the prison Emperor Divine Sword, crawled up while trembling. Princess Qian unleashed the power of the 4 saints. You are indeed the real demon lord. This sentence simply scared that fellow out of his wit. He quickly shook his head and waved his hands. No, I'm not. The demon lord stole my appearance. I'm Chong Feng from the Dugu clan, one of the 4 great clans in Heaven Realm. Can you not attack me first? I can prove my identity. Oh right, the Mirror of Pain was also snatched from me by the demon lord Lidi. He only has the dispatch inherent skill. Without my Mirror of Pain, he would be nothing in the Earth Demon Temple's seal. It would have been better if he didn't say it. Princess Sisai immediately picked up the Mirror of Pain. Thank you, it's finally returned to its owner. The snake-hair demon man stretched out his hand, wanting to ask for the Mirror of Pain back. You're welcome. Princess Sisai kept the Mirror of Pain into her storage ring. If the Mirror of Pain was still controlled by the demon lord before, she wouldn't have kept it. The Storm Goddess General's attack just now destroyed the Demon Lord's consciousness that didn't fully control the Mirror of Pain. It was a good thing for Princess Sisai. As the saying goes, if you marry a chicken, follow the chicken, if you marry a dog, follow the dog. Princess Sisai had been with Yu Yang for a long time. Her view towards treasures was different from before. Now, she wouldn't be as polite as before when she saw the treasures on the ground. Even if it wasn't suitable for her, she had so many sisters in her family, like Sky Law, Fallen Flowers, Inan and Bing Air. All of them needed a powerful treasure like the Mirror of Pain. The snake-haired devil man fell to the ground. It was over. His treasure had been stolen again. Moreover, the chances of returning the item to its rightful owner were 0. He tried his best to prove, "That was mine," but Demon Venerable Li Di snatched it away. Princess Sisai nodded. "Understood. It's mine now. If you're unhappy, you can ask the Earth Devil Venerable for it. He was the one who snatched it from you, it has nothing to do with me." The snake-haired devil man let out a blood-curdling scream and fell to the ground again. His face was full of tears. He now understood one truth: reasoning with a woman was simply nonsense. Worse off than the snake-haired devil man was the arrogant demon martial erection. With every passing second, the goddess of storms would evolve more and more perfectly. With every passing second, she would evolve more and more perfectly. Yu Yang, who was still immersed in the Khanate Supreme Mirror, automatically separated a wisp of nomological energy from his will, allowing the goddess of storms to continue growing. Shui Wuxia and Yu Yang were connected telepathically. Their comprehension and nomological energy, in this once-in-a-thousand-years opportunity, continued to grow. The goddess of storms would grow exponentially. In order to stop the increasingly undefeatable opponent, the Earth Devil martial erection and the silver-haired old man desperately launched attacks. However, such attacks could only send the goddess of storms flying one after another. They could foresee one thing. If the goddess of storms' evolution was completed, it would be the time of their death. They had to kill the master, Shui Wuxia, before her evolution was completed. Attack first. They had to achieve their goal in the shortest time possible. Howl! The Earth Devil martial erection pounced forward crazily. Halfway through, he removed the protection of the Sky Devil divine armor. His arms split into thousands of spear-like weapons. Each of them swam as if they were alive. They extended and shot towards the back of Shui Wuxia. Now, he didn't want to protect himself. He only wanted to kill the enemy. As long as the master, Shui Wuxia, was killed, the goddess of storms would die no matter how strong she was. Princess Sisai combined her 4 holy powers and 6 records inherent skill. She raised the Prison Emperor Divine sword high up, and the guardian beast White Tiger's image appeared above her head. Crackling lightning formed an electric net, trapping the silver-haired old man in the center. The vermilion bird's raging flames surrounded the surroundings, not giving the silver-haired old man a chance to escape. With her 6 records inherent skill, she discovered the weakness of the other party. It was his fear of fire. Little Wen Li took out a ball of light. The light from the treasure shone on the ruins of the Earth Demon Shrine. The divine beast's will exploded. The light slowly returned to Little Wen Li's palm. The silver-haired old man's body seemed to show signs of cracking. Gradually, he couldn't maintain his human form anymore. He turned into an ugly demonic figure, his ferocious face and sharp claws twisting uncontrollably. He let out a long cry. Under the might of Little Wen Li, a divine beast that surpassed normal divine beasts, the silver-haired old man who had only reached the level of holy beast transformation was not considered perfect. Even if he was stronger, his might and will were inferior. Under the pressure, he staggered towards Little Wen Li. Under Little Wen Li's binding inherent skill, his footsteps became slower and slower. However, he persisted in moving, swearing to use his sharp claws to kill the Little Wen Li who had not fully matured yet. Little Wanli didn't retreat. Instead, she advanced. She faced the silver-haired old man who had turned into a terrifying demon. When Princess Sisai saw this, she retracted her sword and changed her target to the demon marshal instead of attacking the silver-haired old man who had turned into a terrifying demon. Standing ground demon marshal used the sky demon divine armor on his other arm to block the attack forcefully. He kicked the demon axe in his hand and made it spin. With a slash of death, the blade of the demon axe spun towards Xiao Wenli. A small, oddly shaped beast sneaked out from under Princess Qianqian's feet. It was carrying a piece of broken ice and flew towards the direction where the demon axe was spinning. It threw the piece of broken ice towards the direction where the demon axe was spinning. The piece of broken ice collided with the demon axe and shattered into pieces. However, the trajectory of the demon axe changed strangely after being hit lightly. When it spun behind Xiao Wenli, it had already exceeded her height and was about an inch above her head. The demon marshal hated the little thing that destroyed his killer move. However, he couldn't do anything because the storm goddess general had sent him flying again. The little water-repellent golden-eyed beast ran towards its master to ask for a reward. When Princess Sisai glared at it, it quickly pretended to be obedient and hid to the side, not daring to act coquettishly anymore. The silver-haired old man who had turned into a terrifying demon fought with Little Wanli. Little Wanli's blades sliced away his thousands of muscles, but the attacks from his claws were blocked by the bows in Little Wanli's other two hands. When Little Wanli's old battle skills awakened, for a personal guard captain, who had once accompanied Queen Vivian Li to conquer the entire Heaven Realm, her battle skills were much better than the terrifying demon. Most importantly, Little Wanli's divine beast will rose again and again. It completely suppressed the terrifying demon. The terrifying demon realized that every time it sliced away a piece of flesh, it would transform it into energy and seal it into the other two hands of the little serpent Loli. It couldn't help but feel terrified. There was absolutely no chance of winning this battle. The result would only be another seal. Master, go, go! The terrifying demon passed through the thousands of blades of Little Wanli without any defense and forcefully broke through Princess Sisai's sword net. Covered in wounds and on the verge of death, it roared at the demon venerable standing ground, "I won't really die. At most, I'll be sealed. It won't be too late for Master to come back and save me when you recover your full strength. If we don't leave now, both of us will be sealed here." The demon venerable standing ground closed his eyes helplessly and gritted his teeth. He turned around and fled towards the ice wall. Hundreds of punches were thrown at the ice wall, trying to forcefully open up a path to escape. Behind him, the silver-haired old man who had turned into a terrifying demon opened his arms and forcefully resisted the attacks from Little Wanli and Princess Sisai. He even resisted the 3 consecutive heavy blows from the storm goddess and didn't move even half a step. Princess Sisai slashed with all her might and cut half of the terrifying demon's waist. However, it still used its hands to grab onto the entrance of the ice cave and insisted on letting the demon venerable standing ground escape. Just as the demon venerable standing ground's last punch pierced through the ice wall, he didn't even have the chance to take a breath of air. Shui Wuxia flipped through a page of the Book of Truth. 3 ice chains formed by the ancient code extended from her fingers. They quickly extended and caught up to the demon venerable standing ground, locking onto the demon venerable's arm that had taken off the sky demon divine armor. The terrifying demon that only had half of its body left pounced towards Shui Wuxia in a frenzy, trying to self-destruct and perish together with its enemy. Little Wanli nailed it onto the ice wall with an arrow. The demon venerable standing ground immediately cut off his arm. As the ice chains locked onto him, he turned around and completely ignored the double attacks from Princess Sisai and the storm goddess. He used all his strength and pressed his palm towards Shui Wuxia's face. Even if he died, he had to kill this detestable enemy. It was precisely because of her existence that the battle situation had become so miserable. Everything was going according to her plan. Including taking off the arm guard just now, it was also a tactical arrangement. If such a smart enemy didn't die, they wouldn't be able to win no matter how much of an advantage they had. I can't stand it anymore. What's so great about bullying a girl? The snake-haired devil rushed forward to help. Scram! The demon venerable standing ground spat out a shockwave from the side of his face, sending the snake-haired devil, who had just recovered 1% of his strength, flying. You scram too? Shui Wuxia sneered. She pressed one hand on the Book of Truth while the other hand was filled with absolute cold energy. This was the absolute cold energy that could even freeze Yu Yang's Heaven's Fury red chain. It was a unique energy that she was born with. Other than the Nirvana's flame, there was nothing in this world that she couldn't freeze. She threw this ball of energy towards the demon venerable standing ground. At the same time, her right leg kicked out a ball of lightning. Speaking of close combat, other than Yu Yang, she didn't have any opponents. Even Princess Sisai had to team up with Yu Bing and the others to be able to fight against her. Just when Shui Wuxia thought that the demon venerable standing ground would be completely frozen, and then be blasted away by lightning and die from the storm goddess general's all-out attack, just when the demon venerable standing ground's defeat was certain, he suddenly spat out a strange black nail from his throat. When this black nail appeared, Shui Wuxia's soul shook violently and she fell into a daze. She lost control of the ice and lightning. A cruel and bloodthirsty look flashed in the demon venerable standing ground's eyes. It was said that this black nail used to be a divine artifact, the soul-fixing nail. Even if a deity were to be nailed by it, they would not be able to resist and could only wait for death. Although it was sealed by an unknown deity due to too many killings, causing its quality to drop to a semi-divine weapon, it was still a piece of cake to deal with a human girl who wasn't even an innate elder. He didn't use it just now because he didn't have the best timing. Now, it was the best time to kill this girl. Die, die. The demon venerable standing ground's huge palm turned into a claw and pressed towards Shui Wuxia's face. Not only did he want to kill this intelligent human girl, he also wanted to peel off her face and make it into a bloody trophy of honor for his collection. You dare to hit my girl? An angry voice sounded behind the demon venerable standing ground. The demon venerable standing ground felt an irresistible force exploding at the back of his neck. Then, the world started to spin and his entire body was plunged into the ground, reaching a depth of a few hundred meters. While he was feeling dizzy, a certain guy who had just become an innate elder started to burn and purify the black nail with Nirvana's flame on one hand. Then, he hugged Shui Wuxia with the other hand and lowered his head to kiss the woman he loved deeply on the battlefield. Chapter 8:13. It wasn't without reason that Yu Yang forcefully kissed Xuan You the moment he came out. After all, there was a snake-haired demon man here. If he didn't declare his sovereignty, it would be very troublesome if someone took a fancy to him. Just look at the Celestial Empire. There were endless problems in the East and South Seas. If they had understood a little in the past, would billions of people be able to trouble a small Jiaoyu island? Of course, these two examples were not the same. Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai would definitely not look at anyone else other than Yu Yang. However, Yu Yang felt that it was better to clarify their relationship as a couple. That way, a lot of troubles would be gone with the wind. After kissing Shui Wuxia, he hugged Princess Sisai and gave Tigress a suffocating kiss. As expected, seeing Yu Yang's blissful life with beauties on his left and right, the snake-haired demon man who called himself Chong Feng became extremely jealous and smashed his head against a rock. It wasn't easy to meet a girl with character, but who knew that she was already taken? I don't want to live anymore. Chong Feng, who called himself the young master of the Heaven Realm's 4 great clans, cried with tears and snot all over his face. Looking at his sad appearance, It was possible that he would cut his wrists and commit suicide. If you hang yourself, you will die very slowly. It's better to use a knife. Yu Yang enthusiastically handed him a knife. I don't want to die. Chang Feng wasn't stupid. He hadn't enjoyed his life to the fullest, so how would he be willing to die so early? It's okay. If you can't think straight, you can find me at any time. I have dozens of ways to let people die painlessly. As long as you pay a small consultation fee, I can even order a coffin for you at Whitestone City's West Main Street. I'm very familiar with that, boss. If you die during a big festival, you can even buy one get one free. Before Yu Yang finished speaking, that young Master Chang Feng was already so scared that his face turned ashen. He ran away frantically, not even daring to look back. It was as if he stayed a second longer, he would be convinced by Yu Yang to commit suicide. Domineering. Princess Sisai knew that Yu Yang was an extremely possessive fellow who didn't want others to look at him. She raised her fist and gave him a punch. Although she looked coquettish on the surface, her strength was not enough to kill a mosquito. I'm just worried that you're too charming, tigress. Yu Yang flattered Princess Sisai, making her feel sweet inside. She knew that he was jealous. But at the end of the day, he was worried about her, so he was not angry but happy. Due to the appearance of the snake-haired devil Chang Feng, as well as the holiness demon's attack on Shui Wuxia, Yu Yang was forced to stop comprehending the innate sovereign realm. Originally, he could have used the energy of the Earth Demon Divine Palace to advance to the perfect innate sovereign realm, or even above the second innate sovereign realm. But now that he had stopped, he could only try to comprehend and improve again in the future. Nothing was absolutely perfect in this world. Being able to take the risk and absorb the energy of the ancient code to advance to the innate sovereign realm was already a great success for Yu Yang. Moreover, in this extreme challenge, Shui Wuxia's storm goddess envoy evolved into a storm goddess general due to the combination of the ancient book, comprehension and the ancient code, and her strength improved greatly. Who are you? The holiness demon roared angrily. He felt that Yu Yang was definitely not an ordinary descendant of the Tong Tian Tower. He might have come from that legendary place. How could an ordinary human have his level of comprehension? How could he have everything that he had? This was not something that could be achieved by nurturing a few rankers of the Tong Tian Tower. If he really came from that legendary place, then this battle was already destined to be lost. Even the Sky Demon Majesty could not fight against the rankers of that place, let alone himself. There's no need for a dead man to know secrets. Although Yu Yang had advanced to the innate sovereign realm and his strength had reached a whole new level, he did not dare to underestimate his enemy. This holiness demon venerable was really not a simple opponent. However, because of the ancient code seal, he had lost a large amount of strength. He did not even have a tenth of his peak strength. If the holiness demon venerable fought him with his peak strength, the consequences would be, at the very least, the holiness demon venerable would not be able to leave. Even if Yu Yang and Shui Wuxia worked together, they would not be able to stop him. The nirvana flame turned into a pillar of fire and rose up. Yu Yang leaped up agilely and rode on the fire phoenix that was formed from the nirvana flame. He rushed towards the holiness demon venerable. As the holiness demon venerable roared like thunder and waved his fists, an eternal wheel appeared on his right hand that was slowly expanding. Within 10 meters, everything returned to eternity. The heavily injured holiness demon venerable could no longer struggle or move like before. His left hand reached towards Yu Yang, who was on the holiness demon venerable's chest, and pressed lightly. The world-exterminating wheel that had undergone the enlightenment of the innate sovereign realm started to spin. The ancient runes were no longer faintly discernible like before. Instead, they were completely revealed the moment they were born, displaying their world-destroying power. Stronger and deeper ancient runes appeared on Yu Yang's forehead, left hand, and the core of the world-exterminating wheel. With Yu Yang's innate sovereign realm divine sense, the power of the small code, and the world-destroying power of the world-exterminating wheel, the ancient code seal combined and sliced into the holiness demon Venerable's chest. This slash did not cut the enemy's body in half like before. Instead, it included the soul, will, and energy. All of them were sliced open. Finally, it gave a world-destroying attack. Yu Yang had just stepped into the innate sovereign realm. The power that he had comprehended was not enough for him to truly unleash the power of the world-exterminating wheel. If Yu Yang reached innate sovereign level 10 and stepped into the holy sovereign realm, the power that he could unleash would be the true godly might. This attack could truly destroy the world, and it would not be as simple as killing an enemy. The world-exterminating wheel pierced through the holiness demon Venerable's chest and came out from his back. The gigantic image split the holiness demon Venerable in half. However, the weird thing was that the holiness demon Venerable's body did not get cut into half. The sky demon divine armor that could defend against anything did not have any resistance against the world-exterminating wheel, as if it did not know that the world-exterminating wheel had pierced through its body. After unleashing the world-exterminating wheel, Yu Yang felt extremely tired. He had regained his true power after attaining the innate sovereign realm. He was sweating profusely and panting heavily. It was even more tiring than fighting continuously for 3 hours. Princess Sisai was a little shocked as she held onto Yu Yang's arm. The flash of the ancient runes not only drained Yu Yang's energy, she and Shui Wuxia also felt a little dizzy. The entire Earth Demon Divine Palace ruins also had an irreversible effect. The crushed stones, ice, and the stone floor had all turned into a destructive whirlpool. All the living things in the surrounding space had been destroyed. The group of ice sculptures that had not awakened had already been sealed for a long time. Not many of them had survived. A few of them had been killed by the Golden Giant's pressure, and only 2 of them were left. However, because of the world-exterminating wheel that Yu Yang had unleashed with all his might, they were instantly turned into ashes. The ice sculptures had all been turned into nothingness by the world-exterminating wheel. Other than a few faded grimoires, nothing else was left. The world-exterminating wheel can be so strong. Even though Shui Wuxia had the Book of Truth, she did not know that the world-exterminating wheel that Yu Yang had unleashed after attaining the innate sovereign realm was so terrifying. Yu Yang was panting heavily. He did not have the time to reply. In fact, he did not expect it either. The holiness demon Venerable, who had been struck by the world-exterminating wheel, was not dead yet. It was just that his life force had been cut off. The sky demon divine armor on his body fell off automatically. The storage ring, followed by the holiness demon act. He could no longer maintain his snake-like appearance as he turned back into a sinister-looking demon person. He looked a little similar to the guardian beast demon that little Wenli had pinned onto the ice wall and was also killed by the world-exterminating wheel. The holiness demon Venerable seemed to want to walk towards his guardian beast, but just as he took a step, his body started to tremble. The holiness demon Venerable stumbled uncontrollably and was controlled by the holiness demon Venerable. On the second step, the guardian beast in front of the holiness demon Venerable, the silver-haired old man, turned into a ray of light and scattered in the air. However, it did not return to the body of the holiness demon Venerable like the other guardian beasts that died. With a bang, the holiness demon Venerable's grimoire fell to the ground and quickly dropped in rank. Its color dimmed and the light of the grimoire became weaker, just like its owner's life. The holiness demon Venerable's knees went soft and he almost knelt on the ground. However, he struggled and stood firmly. "You're very strong. If I wasn't sealed for tens of thousands of years, I wouldn't be your opponent. If I was strong enough, I would definitely challenge you in your strongest state. However, because of the situation outside, I don't have time to wait anymore. I need to become stronger urgently. Holiness Demon Venerable, you didn't lose to me, you lost to fate. Yu Yang slightly bowed towards the Holiness Demon Venerable. My fate was already destined to be a tragedy since tens of thousands of years ago. It's better to die like this than to continue living. Young man, thank you. If you see the Sky Demon King, please tell him that I'm free. The Holiness Demon Venerable bent down and took out a piece from the Sky Demon Divine Armor. He wiped it lightly. Then, he threw it to Yu Yang. Finally, he stood up straight with determination. He maintained his body that was as straight as a javelin. Even if his pupils were dilated and his life force was completely extinguished, he still didn't fall. Even if Yu Yang killed him with the world-exterminating wheel, he was still the Holiness Demon Venerable who rampaged through the entire heaven realm. Yu Yang looked at the exquisite Sky Demon Order in his hand and kept it in his bosom. Then, he bowed towards the Holiness Demon Venerable. He waved his hand and released a ball of nirvana flame. He incinerated the Holiness Demon Venerable's corpse. This was the first time that Yu Yang didn't use the corpse as fertilizer or dog food after killing a strong opponent. It was the first time that he treated an enemy's corpse with true respect. If the Holiness Demon Venerable was at his peak state, even if Yu Yang used the world-exterminating wheel, he might not be able to hit this strong enemy. Before the world-exterminating wheel killed him, the Holiness Demon Venerable had already been weakened by the ancient code seal. He was also heavily injured by the Golden Giant's pressure. He even allowed Shui Wuxia, Princess Sisai, Little Wen Li and the Storm Goddess to attack them. This kind of enemy was worthy of Yu Yang's respect. He wasn't the first person to fall in the river of time, and he wouldn't be the last. However, he was definitely worthy of being recorded in Yu Yang's history. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.